All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are live. We're waiting on Defcamp to get back. I think he's grabbing a Snapple or something, but welcome back. Everyone, ladies and gentlemen of Azeroth, it is I, Kargoz. Haven't streamed in a month. Thank you very much for being here. Really appreciate already all the support in the chat. It's so good to see all of you. Here, easing my transition back into streaming and making this a lot less cringy because I feel a little awkward, you know, is the whole gang, and we are full of people today. As you can see, we got 6 boxes on the GMA. I hope you guys can hear me. You know, there's definitely going to be some scuffage, as with all GMAs, but it is really good to be back. GMA 48. Today we'll be discussing the state of the game and more. We have a spicy demo of this new tool as well. Welcome back, everybody, but before we get into all that hot, juicy lava, let's do just a little catch-up, man. How the hell are you guys? Let's start with Taladril, actually. We'll go under me and around. How you doing, Taladril, man? Good to see you.
Doing great, yeah. It's good to be on here. I've been looking forward to finally showing this tool off. It's been promised for months and months and months, and it's out, so it's good to be here.
Absolutely. Everything's been good with you? You've been doing some IRL projects and stuff, building a patio, you were saying? Not trying to blow you up.
Yeah, doing a lot of, with the COVID stuff, it's been stay at home and work on the house, so there's been a lot of stuff I've been backburnering that I've been taking care of, so it's been good.
I feel the lines
patio
and Home Depot. I'm sure you've been going there a lot. Have been out the door. I mean.
Oh yeah, and I've been wearing a mask though. I've been very careful with everything.
Everybody is in that kind of that mood to work on the house. I feel a lot of people.
Yeah, for sure.
Are in that spirit.
For sure.
Gray's permagrin. It's true. Gray's always got.
He's cheesing, bro. He's cheesing.
Always cheesing. Well, it's really good to hear from you, Taladril. Dunedain, my man, my brother over in Belgium. How are you, my man?
Hello. Doing good. It's very hot in here lately, and it seems like summer, and it's only May. But yeah, I'm doing fine. The music should be turned down, apparently.
The music a little loud? Okay, there's the scuff.
Yeah.
Idge. Per usual. There it is. A little bit lower. Hopefully it's better.
So I'm really happy to be back in GMA, really. A lot has happened. I feel like there's a lot to talk about, state of the game and stuff.
Yeah.
So, I guess we can get into it after the whole intro stuff, but I'm happy to be back.
Absolutely, it's good to be back. Episode 48, Melderon, Papa Melderon, Doc Melderon. You know
No.
You love him. Your favorite fruit fly scientist. How are you?
What's up, kid? Yeah, I just want to say that it's good to hear from Kargoz. We thought the worst. We thought he had the macaroni and cheese. You know what I'm saying? That's all what's going on. He's back. He's alive. That's great to hear. Doing well. I've been rating and ranking. I've been playing a lot actually since it's been. What else are you going to do right now? Right? I'm working from home. I have a lot of time, so I've been trying to delve myself into the game as much as possible, and it's been great. Reinvigorated, actually, to be honest.
That's so great to hear, actually, man. And it's so interesting, before we move on to Blaze for Days, how at any given time, we have enough people on these GMAs or these shows where people are always falling in and out of the pack. I feel like, a week or two, Dunedain's not feeling it. He's maybe not playing so much, and then or it's me, or it's Steph, or it's Melderon. It's crazy. It just goes to show.
Yeah.
It's a cyclical kind of nature, the hype of Classic, and yeah.
Great.
Blaze for Days, my man.
Oh, it is. It absolutely is. Like you said, you're always coming back. Kargoz was telling me too yesterday. He's like, I'm feeling the itch again, and it comes in waves, dude. You always make your way back here, dude. There you go.
Oh man, Crix.
You're not allowed to leave us like that again. Big hype
Oh,
for the boys.
nice.
Welcome back, brothers.
Thank you, Crix.
Yeah, I'm doing really well with the whole coronavirus thing going on. I'm down here in Texas. It's starting to pick up. People are starting to sit inside a little bit more. For whatever reason, they're taking it more seriously. But that just means it doesn't mean I'm playing more. I'm already playing, 15 hours a day as per usual.
Are you?
I graduated.
15 hours a day.
Oh,
man.
dude. Yeah. Well, it comes in waves. I found a new way to play the game recently, and so just like Melderon's over here PvP ranking. I never thought, fruit fly scientist Dr. Melderon would be ranking in Classic WoW, and he's ranking. I never thought I'd multi-box, and I've gotten into multi-boxing. For what it's worth, I know it's a sore subject. But I graduated. I got my information systems degree. Dude, weight off my shoulders. So
can we get some hype in the chat for Gray's graduation, dude? C's get degrees. He was the one telling me that, man. Let's go.
Yeah, 4 C's and 1 B in PE.
That's all you need.
Right.
PE in college? What? You playing dodgeball with a bunch of hotties?
No, dude, I was taking aerobics with a bunch of women and had like a 60-year-old Mohawk instructor. She had me doing the Congo and whatever other move. I don't know.
Checking your stretches, just like, hey, you're stretching really well there, Grace.
But anyways, I'm doing good, man.
Oh, wow. You're doing good. You'll love to see it, man. Big congrats on getting the degree, Grace. I know you were thinking about pushing it out or maybe just doing it later or something. I think, now that you have it all behind you, man, that's got to feel really good. No one can take that away from you.
Yeah, that was a year ago. We were talking about that, and it's crazy. It's come full circle. But yeah.
Did Defcamp grabbing some
He's
snapples right now?
He's in the back for me. He'll be on in a second. We can just move on and he can come back and...
I don't want to spend too much time on it, but I will touch on my absence and everything, and just why I'm doing when I like I said, the hype comes and goes, and I'll be perfectly honest with you guys. It's just sometimes you feel it, sometimes you're not feeling it. So a couple things IRL have happened with me. Nothing bad. Actually, it's kind of exciting. Wifey and I, we bought a second property. We bought a 10-acre ranch, a working ranch, and we are, it's been a big dream of mine for years and years now to try to homestead. Have you guys heard of that? It's, we're not doing it full time because it's, it's a second property for us, but the whole idea of being able to have your own, self-reliant farm or place where you can grow fruits and vegetables and, have some animals and have this cool place with acres and acres and stuff like that. So it's been a big dream of mine, and we finally pulled the trigger and got this nice property that we're going to turn into a lavender farm. So that has been taking some time. We closed on it and everything like that. I know it sounds so bizarre and out of left field, and a lot of people were expecting a spicier response maybe, but been applying myself towards that a little bit. But I really have missed you guys, and I'm so grateful that you guys are still here watching, even after going cold turkey for a month or something like that, coming back and there's still hundreds of people here. That's pretty much it. I really need to get better at communicating, so I'm really sorry, especially to the hardcore community and stuff like that, for just going MIA. I'm not the type of person that, like, when I don't like to make a big deal of things, like make a big sob story of this or do that. Like, I just, I don't know if anybody can relate with that, but you try not to make it a big deal. But definitely feeling better about streaming and all this, and having you guys here makes it infinitely easier. I can't tell you, Grays, you said that it's like not running for a while. It's so true. We're not going to the gym for a while, but if you go to the gym with your boys, or you go on a little jog with your boys, it just makes it a little bit easier. But anyway, Defcamp is back. Defcamp, my brother from another mother. You okay?
I'm sorry, man. I'm like hemorrhaging from my nose.
He's hemorrhaging from his nose. What is good, Defcamp? Good to see you, man. How are you, first of all? And then, I don't know, are you in the right medical condition to do it, to give us all a blessing?
Back,
dude, I'll fucking power through it. You guys ready?
Congrats on the ranch. Wish you and your wife all the best heart.
You guys ready?
About to see blood gushing everywhere.
It's gonna come popping out of my nose. Ready? All right, hold on.
All right, he's going for it. Garrett, thank you so much for the donation, man. I really appreciate it, Garrett.
Good morning, Azeroth. It has been too long, and too fucking long. Just too long.
There it
I
is.
missed you guys.
I was half expecting that tissue to come shooting out of your nose, man. It makes you get some fireworks, man. But maybe through.
Oh, I know you just got done saying that you're fucking sorry that you haven't been around, but I gotta say it too, because I haven't been around in a while. And I don't know what you said, but no, I'm guessing it's probably I just lately the whole fucking Corona thing just had me kind of down, and I just haven't felt like streaming. I don't know about you guys, but it's just I don't know. It's just haven't been feeling myself lately. So I apologize to my community, our community.
Yeah.
I want to get back into it. I really do. I've been playing my shaman a lot lately, elemental PvP, and I've been having a blast. And I really want to stream it. I just haven't been feeling myself, and hopefully, we can maybe motivate each other and just start streaming again, because I just haven't had the motivation. Just to be honest, that's just myself.
Absolutely, man. You said it so beautifully, man. Like, haven't been feeling it. I've noticed this with other content creators too. I don't know if you guys have as well. Like, people can only kind of go so. Some people are machines, man. I gotta say, like, even people like I don't know, like people like Stay Safe and stuff like they just go, bro. I feel like they have no other mode. Like they just stream all day every day. It's not. It's like it's no problem whatsoever. Like there's no kind of burnout. Here's the thing though. Okay, this is a little bit of a spicier point I want to make with you guys. Like, so for me personally, right? If I'm doing hardcore characters and I'm dying on hardcore characters, if I'm being 100% honest and truthful, like that's gonna get a little bit tiresome, right? And like your mind, your heart is not going to be super into it. So what do you do in that point? You know, you could keep streaming and just force it, but that's like what my pops always said to me. I always repeat it over and over because it's such a nice little thing to keep in your pocket. If you can't be good company, don't be company, right? So like if your friends are going out and you're feeling grumpy and they're like, bro, come out, and be like, dude, I'm not going to be good company. I'm not going out. So a part of me wants to just not stream and then just take it offline. Wait till I'm feeling a little bit more chipper, a little bit more fun to be around before you keep going with it. But what do you guys think about that?
I agree. I don't like to, and I know for some people like it's their livelihood and they have like no choice, right? I do have another job, even though it's been a lot less right now. But for me, it's just been like if I don't feel like it's going to be the kind of content that I want to like. If I don't want to be around myself, why do other people want to be? That's how, you know what I mean? Like that kind of feeling. Like if I don't feel like I'm good company right now. If I don't feel like myself, like I just don't feel like, I don't know, man. It's a lot. It's just like sometimes I just want to turn my brain off and just fucking. Maybe that's bad. Maybe that's a bad thing. Maybe I shouldn't do that. Maybe I should force myself more. Maybe I wouldn't get in those ruts and shit. So I don't know. Maybe it's something I need to just push through,
Yeah.
I don't stream that much, but like a month ago I was really streaming like daily for 2 weeks, I think. It wasn't WoW, so you need something to stream, and in my case I was really into Hearthstone for a while. There was a new expansion and stuff. I really tried ranking hard in there, and that was really fun to do.
Legend or something, right, man? You did it.
Yeah.
That's
I
awesome,
did that,
man.
yeah.
I've been playing some of that TBC Hearthstone X-Pack too. But,
yeah,
yo,
it's fun, man.
Melderon, though, I gotta ask you, man. You're kind of inspiring me a little bit here. You said that you've been feeling revitalized, and like it seems like you've been going hard with it. You've been ranking. You're the last person I would have thought, if you asked me 6 months ago, who would be into PvP and ranking. Now you're ranking. What has got you so hype and motivated to play on a day-to-day basis? Like, how did that?
We're trying to improve. We're trying to do. I'll say this live. It doesn't really matter. We're going for week 1 AQ and next clears. In our rate. So we've been really pushing to improve our rate. Bringing Navic on has been a huge boost to that. Grace can attest to the difference in the tank and core. We've recruited 3 or 4 new warriors. We're really pushing, and being a part of that has been really invigorating for me, and I know Grace and Defcamp can attest to that as well. And the ranking thing, honestly, dude, I was just like one day, Defcamp got his shaman to 60, and I was like, dude, you know what? I have enough gold where I can just respec every week, and I just been respecting every week, dude. I got Lockhamir last night. I have over 340 spell power, 30% crit. I'm blowing people up.
He's tearing it up, dude. He's tearing it up.
It's just like elemental PvP is just it's the bee's knees, bro. It really is, and I just kind of I was gonna say something else, but I was like, I shouldn't say that, but I don't know, bro. Like I'm rank 7, should be rank. I'm planning to totally skip rank 8 this week if I can get enough honor. And then I'm only going to rank 11 though, because I want the mounts. To be perfectly honest, there's nothing really in the rank 12 or above that I want for gear as far as itemization is concerned. I'm just doing it for fun. It's a lot of fun though.
As long as you have fun, though, you can keep going, right? I mean, you can obviously go to rank 12, 13 if you want, if you have fun, right?
It's hard to do it if you're not in a pre-made, but yeah.
So I can attest to this too, because I've obviously been ranking with him, and I think I've been having, even though like I said what I just said about me not wanting to stream and all recently and all, but I've been probably having some of the most fun I've had since Classic came out playing on the Shaman, because like I don't know, it's just I can go into a BG, and I love Priest, right? And we had a long discussion, me and Melderon, about this. We put it up on our channel about me, like, just doing something different, because I've been healing for so long, on private servers since back in the day, right, all the way to now, that I really haven't gotten a chance to like explore, doing anything else. And And I've been ranking as well. I was 3% away from rank 8 this week. I was so pissed because I went to legs. But yeah, so I'm like just blowing up through the ranks. I've got myself a pretty good amount of gear. I'm not up to Melderon's level yet. I still need a weapon, but I've got like, a pretty decent amount of gear. I've got a lot of armor, and it's just really fun going into BGs and blowing people up. Melderon made that video where I had a little appearance in it. Now we're going to work on another one, and I think it's definitely been a lot of fun for me to do this and kind of do something else. So I really wanted to like stream this and kind of,
do it.
Yeah.
I will watch.
Yeah,
I will watch.
It's like the only bad thing about being Horde is you have these really long queues.
Oh,
so you have a lot of downtime in between, right? So you have like
you come up with content like to interact with your chat.
And that's what I was thinking. Yeah, and that's what I was thinking too. And it's just I think for me I just need to just go and do it. That's my thing. You know what I mean? I just need to do it. But I'm hoping that I can just keep pushing the ranks and see what happens. I need some more gear, like I said, but it's a lot of fun, man. It's a lot of fun.
What I think is interesting, you mentioned your guild went to more hardcore kind of style, right?
Yeah.
I think I have a similar guild as you guys had before you went hardcore, and I must say it's really, really hard to manage because you have like those different types of people who want to parse, people who want to be casual, people that bring consumes, people that don't, all those kind of different styles, and I mean, we are not going hardcore. I want to try and stay the way we are. But I feel like many guilds have had a lot of troubles lately. I see many guilds disappear on the server, disband, and people get burnout. So we went and recruited a bunch last few weeks. And I feel like, is that a general trend in US as well?
Yeah, we've had a lot of it. We've had a good amount of attrition. And honestly, it's the natural. We talked about this. I think Ale and Bell, we did a podcast on this very topic, and it's just a natural progression of the game. Things get a lot harder, and people can meme about how easy the content is, but I can guarantee you, Nex and AQ are going to be a significant step up from BWL. And now's the point where you're starting to realize who's doing it for who wants to see all the content and clear the content, and who just wants to be there for fun. And I hate to say this, but you can't have both people in a guild because it turns into this mixed perceptions, and you have people that just, I don't want to say drag you down because they that's their way of playing the game, right? And that's fine. But a lot of the leadership core, myself and Defcamp and Grays included, we weren't having fun that way, and that was the big thing, right? And
I understand, because it's really hard. You're basically managing the guild all day, and you're trying to please different people, and you can't please them all. But I think I made some kind of change in my mindset, and I just go with like the majority, I guess, but keep like still the guild that's a semi-casual to semi-hardcore guild. I don't know. It's a hard thing to do, but it seems to work out for
we're
now.
Never going to be Onslaught, obviously, but we
try our hardest, and
exactly.
And I gotta say, Dunedain, ever since, like, for me as a healer, I was getting kind of bored, right? Because like, certain fights you go in there, and it's like, and we can talk about the gear tool now, because like I've been, I only need one more piece out of BWL. I need Elementium band, and that's it.
So that's like the only one I have.
Of course. Yeah, that's all I need. So, like, I'm pretty. I got like over 1,000 bonus healing right now, like unbuffed.
Okay.
So I'm pretty geared, and with that, things have been a little easier, not challenging when we're just going at a slower pace, right? And now that we're going at a much faster pace, like we're killing Vale before anyone dies or before the tank dies.
Yeah, we tried it.
Like 40 seconds or so, right? So, like doing that and doing the trash, we're doing the trash a lot faster. We're doing stuff like putting priests in each of the groups so we can like Holy Nova through Suppression Room and just go through it. I'm having a ton of fun doing that because it's actually challenging. I have to like run the whole way up, right? I can't even sit and drink. Like I'm using consumes, I'm using all the world buffs, and now that we're doing this, it's become a lot more fun for me because like.
Yeah, I want to talk about people that have burned out and aren't playing, like I haven't been streaming, but I've been playing the game, off stream consistently. I don't know how everybody else feels. I talk about this all the time. Classic WoW is a game, if you don't have objectives in the game, if you don't have something that you're striving for, there's really no reason to play it. You kind of have to make your own fun. It's an open world sandbox. And the reason I think Defcamp, Melderon, myself, all of us in our raid, we've become revitalized. They're freaking PvPing on the weekend. I haven't been PvPing on the weekend on my max character, but I'd never see Melderon PvP on the weekend and have fun playing the game. And I think part of it is because we changed the raid up a little bit. We have a new objective in the raid, and it gets you into the flow of things. And so you continue to play the game because you have something that you're striving for. We're pushing BWL content. We're pushing kill times, clear times. We're staying engaged. And that's one thing that has kept us around and playing the game. Also, hardcore. Kargoz probably fell. I don't mean to speak for you, but you played hardcore. You played, ran it into the dirt for 2 months like I did, and fucking dies for days, Mogor for days over here. Like, I was burned out, dude. There's no more objective for me. Like, I can't play hardcore for 2 months straight. I need something new. You know what I mean?
Some wisdom, man. Like, you're speaking well, man. I definitely feel what you're saying. Big time.
Yeah, and then I don't know, it just seemed like you didn't have an objective, and you just took a break. Your Warlock was stagnated at 60, jumping around raids, you were at ours, and it's just like, there wasn't anything for you. I moved out, I would have taken a break, but I've been getting into this 5-man multi-box dungeon farm team, and it's super interesting, it's engaging, and I'm sticking around, and I'm playing the game. So, and I don't know if anyone else in the chat can attest to this, if you don't have anything that you're striving for, Classic WoW, that's why people say Classic WoW's dying, Classic WoW's dead. There's nothing to do in Classic WoW. And what Classic WoW arguably has the least amount of things to do, right? You only have a handful of raids to do every single week. There's only so many systems. There's not dailies. There's very little to do in Classic WoW. And I think it's just a testament to...
I agree with you 100%, dude.
Just it's to all chime in here, too, like, I feel like a simple man. Like like I always say, I think my wires got crossed as a kid. Like, I'm listening to this ambience in the background, I'm looking at it visually, these scenes that I've seen thousands of times, right? But just going through these human zones, and it's flashing through all the zones, and it hits you with that in music every now and then. It's like hypnosis, man. It's kind of drawing me back in. It's that itch to jump back into the Barrens. That itch.
I like that you say that.
Yeah,
that is Classic WoW. I mean, you say there's not a lot to do in Classic. I don't agree with that, to be honest. Endgame might be just raids, like 2 days a week, but you can always level a new character, do something you want to do, because there's nothing you have to do. There's quite a lot you can do, in my opinion, at least. But I think everyone goes up and down, and the way I got revitalized was by playing Hearthstone 24/7 for a month. And I felt like playing Hunter, and so I started leveling my Hunter.
Not dirty face Hunter, though, right? You're playing some Galakrond madness.
In Hearthstone, I first played Demon Hunter and then Spell Druid, and then now I play some kind of Highlander Hunter. Yeah, but I kind of try a lot of things. But I was talking, I'm leveling a Hunter in Classic now.
Not female Night Elf, right?
Yes, female Night
Elf, of course.
What else do you play?
I hate you. I like 100% agree with you guys so much. Like, I was just thinking when Grays was talking, like, Classic is a game where you get what you put into it, right? You only get out of it what you put into it. Like, look at what Grays did. He went out, like, made all these characters, like, doing all this stuff. If you're just playing on one character and only expecting to raid every week, then you're probably going to get burnt out and get bored. But if you're really pushing yourself, if you're doing PvP, if you're leveling alts, if you're doing these things, these new challenges for yourself, I feel like that's where Classic really shines, right? It's the originality. It's the the people that are fucking out there RPing, that are having a blast, right? The people that are out there doing all this crazy stuff, making these leveling experiences, making these leveling challenges, making these alts, doing PvP ranking. Yeah, a lot of it gets repetitive, but you have to really keep yourself engaged. And I think Classic WoW is like a sandbox in that way, where you really have the choice to do these things. And yeah, a lot of times I get that feeling too, man. So many times where I'm just like, I am so bored of healing. I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to level a new character all the way to 60. But I did it. I enjoyed the hell out of leveling my character to 60, even though the server was like dead. I still had a great time. And yeah, you see like there's some things that really get you down. Like, I've been noticing a lot of bots recently, right? But my ass is going and getting these bots, and I'm literally kiting them all the way out into the middle of the ocean and making them drown, like doing some stupid shit, whatever. I'm bored out of my mind, but I just doing I don't know, fun stuff, kiting the bots in the middle of nowhere, whatever, just having fun with it. And I don't know, man. I feel like Classic is that game that I could always return to, but I have to put the energy into it.
But it's because it's so much more than endgame, right? It's not like any expansion. It's like a total game. You have the full package here.
Yeah, for me, I told myself, what is my point of playing this game? And honestly, there's only one clear goal for me. It's to kill Kel'Thuzad. And if I'm not doing that, it's a deal breaker, right? So I kind of told myself, are we at the point where I think we can do that right now? And the answer was honestly no a couple months ago.
Yeah.
And now it's not, and that's for me why I'm having fun. It's like I want to kill KT. That's why I'm playing this game, right?
Okay, so Melderon, now we're at the point, and let's talk about the state of Classic WoW. What do we have to look forward to? And Taladril, I'm sure you can weigh in on this too. Just your knowledge of Classic. We have AQ and Nax to look forward to. Now you can see the end of the tunnel. You can see KT. It seems tangible now. AQ is going to come out. It's going to shock the world, and then we're getting our raid correct. That everybody else, hope you're getting your house right, because in AQ and Nax, you want to have a guild. You want to have a guild that's going to kill KT, and so you can start farming. You can start preparing for these last two raids. What do we have to expect in Classic WoW? Well, what's there left before the inevitable TBC? I guess
it's going to be a challenge.
Taladril, do you want to take this? You cleared all the content on private servers.
Okay, compared to what we've seen, how much is there left?
Soon, right?
Yeah.
Well, AQ and Nax are a lot harder for sure. Nax especially, it's hard just because it's so long. There's 4 wings plus the last 2 bosses. It takes quite a few raid nights just to get through that stuff. So people who are running all their raids in one night now, it's going to be really different when they're going to be needing 3 full days just to be clearing Nax, much less any other content. So the raid schedule gets really busy. But yeah, it's going to be exciting, I think. Nax is a fun raid. AQ is not as fun. The trash in AQ is pretty sucky. But Nax will be fun. It'll be interesting to see how many people are able to clear Nax, because it takes so many warriors, for example, just to get to 4 horsemen. And if you start having problems with being a progressive guild, actually getting through the content and continuing to succeed, then warriors will start looking for other guilds, and so you'll see a lot of guild die-offs in just that progression stage for Nax for more casual guilds.
How are you enjoying Classic WoW, Taladril? Are you still playing it every day? I know, like Melderon said, you've cleared all the content before. You've kind of earned your stripes. People see you as a big brand in the community. How is it going for you?
It's going pretty good. Right now it's better. For me, my sort of WoW fix is more on sort of a 2 or 3 year schedule. So for me, I cleared all the content on private servers, and then Classic came out. And honestly, for me, it was too soon. I would have loved another year between private servers and Classic coming out. I know a lot of people would be like, no way. But I was just like, I'm not quite ready yet. I didn't really want to invest in it again full tilt. So even with the start of Classic, I was approaching personal burnout. So it took me a lot of time just to sort of I got to 60 and pretty much almost instantly was doing raid logging. But recently I've gotten more motivation to be able to finally sort of commit again. So I've been working on my TBC main, my actual druid. With that character, I'll finally be able to do that. So I'm getting more motivation to play recently, which is nice, because it's been difficult. Because I want to play, but at the same time I'm so burned out from WoW that it's just like, ugh.
Let's do a quick poll.
You guys know.
Chat, quick posture check to the chat as well. How many days per week? We don't have to go into hours per day, because then it, I don't know, just loses value. How many days per week? 7 days in the week. How many days are you logging in and playing Classic WoW? Out of those 7.
7, easy.
Can we do a straw poll?
Yeah, let's do straw poll. No, don't do a straw poll.
No? Okay.
Yeah, we'll see what spam in the chat. What about you, Melderon? Is it every day?
7, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Look at all these nerds. Yeah, dude, everybody's playing every single day. Of course.
Wow.
I'm probably like I'm a 5.
See, Taladril, and you're saying
Taladril,
you're burned
you're
out and you're
father,
done with the
though.
game, but you're playing 5 days a week, dude.
Well, because
And you have a
raiding
family.
I'm raiding 3 nights, so like it's just short. It's like bank alt stuff or whatever. It's not a lot. It's probably only like maybe an hour or 2 of those nights. So it's pretty low.
5
level.
days compared to 7, though, I can't imagine taking 2 days off and not logging in. Like,
Well, he's got a
whether
family,
I'm
you know what I
addicted
mean?
to it. Well, yeah. I'm a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
Okay, so
I think
like,
his wife would
here,
flip
okay.
out.
You guys want a really crazy statistic down here? Okay, so because I looked at this because we were talking about this the other day. You guys want to guess how many HKs I've got on my main character?
On your paladin?
7.
Yeah, on my paladin.
Let's guess.
say 4.
Guess, chat. I'm gonna guess
20.
0 just
20.
to be edgy.
It's not gonna be a lot. 10.
It's not going to be a lot.
Well, he ran by and raid.
What was it?
1.
One.
closest.
Oh.
I don't think I even did that one because
Your raid
I
accidentally.
was probably in a
snuck
group at the time. Yeah, accidentally killed somebody on the way or something. Yeah.
Someone stepped
For
into your
real.
consecrate and fell into the lava.
Pretty much. Yeah,
I've
I
been
have not,
loving PvP.
I've
I don't
not
know
even
what's wrong with you, man.
not even stepped into a single BG. Cause
No!
I don't know. I just am. I'm not a PvPer.
Are you
I know
liking
you're
Paladin
not.
though, man? So I mean, I feel like this has already been, a known thing. You've been manning Paladin, right? Like, how does it compare to you compared
Can't
to?
say that.
Is that still?
Yeah, but no, that's not a secret. It's yeah, Paladin's fun. I think Paladin's neat. I think they're a little bit less OP than I was hoping at the time. I don't know. Like in some ways, I probably would have preferred a priest.
You just
Tanking
broke
at
Dunedain's
60
heart.
to me is just a complete pain.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Sorry, you made me happy and broke Dunedain's heart.
I'm really missing tanking at 60 as druid. I wish I was tanking.
Did you
as
try
druid,
tanking as
that's sort
paladin
of
though?
one of my bigger motivations. Yes, it's too much effort. It's just like you gotta
Oh,
worry
you think
about
so?
your mana constantly.
Oh, I guess yeah.
And
We now
with
recently
dread, and
have,
it's like, oh my god, they pulled and I don't have a taunt, and it's just
see.
it's such a pain.
but you can use the Blessing of King spam. We recently
Do they make
have a
shielding
prot
for the
paladin
paladins?
in our raid.
I'm not talking
and-
about raid tanking. I'm talking about just dungeons. It's just
Oh, but that's even better, right? But anyway, in raids, I was really skeptical about Paladin tank, but it works out really well, actually. I really like it, and we're gonna try to bring him into AQ and Max later on as well.
Can I just say that I'm really glad Taladril's not PvPing because that's one less paladin in a fucking BG.
Yeah,
we just
yeah,
talk about
true.
paladins in BGs
So,
for like
I'm
2
gonna
minutes.
bubble,
Dude,
and they're just gonna sit here and
Do you still hate Paladins, Melderon? I thought we
More now than I did before.
Really?
Classic.
You played
Yeah,
one
I have
though
to
for a
agree
minute
with that.
though.
I played one to level 10 and never played him again.
All right, yo, I have a question for you. This is actually a pretty spicy question. I don't think I've ever asked this on any show or podcast or whatever. And this is a question for the chat as well too. Think long and hard about this. All right, if you could, just hypothetically, switch your character, your main character, and his class to another class and spec instantaneously, and it had the same power level of gear, same everything gold. Don't think about logistics. First of all, would you? For you, the Grays, that's a druid. For me, it's a warlock, Defcamp priest, Melderon, shaman, Dunedain, paladin. Would you swap to another character? Not even saying that you don't like your class that you're playing, but maybe you wanted to, you would switch it up if you could to another class and spec.
Sure, it's easy for me.
No, to main.
I think
Grenade.
I would.
Oh,
Yeah.
forever.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant as like a little like vacation.
Oh, I mean,
No, forever.
your character would just switch right now, and it would just be a
No.
new class and spec right now.
No, I
So
wouldn't switch.
I feel like this
I
is a really
would
relevant
just because
question for
at
me.
this point it would be fun to get the gear for my druid rather than getting gear for a paladin, because the paladin is more just for classic.
I would never in 100 years switch
Neither
my
would I.
main now.
I gotta talk about this
I
because
respect Dunedain for that, even though he's a paladin.
Dunedain's a purist, man. He's like,
here's what I gotta say. It's like I love Priest so fucking much, right? I really do.
comes.
And
But everything before but is bullshit, right, Defcamp?
no, but listen, let me go in. This is really hard for me to say. And okay, let me say this in a different way. Priest to me has been everything I've really hoped for it to be in Classic WoW. However, I don't feel like Priest really hits its high until TBC. Circle of Healing, Prayer of Healing out of group, Prayer of Mending, those three things really fucking just puts it over the top. And it actually makes it the best spec that I've ever played in WoW. Right? Holy and TBC is my favorite spec in WoW completely.
Mm-hmm. I understand that. I played it as well in TVC.
Yeah,
I totally understand what you're saying.
My guy is completely geared out as a priest. I've got fucking, great parses, whatever. Doesn't really matter. But, I know how to heal in a priest. I know I've done it. In terms of me, really having fun right now, I've been having a lot of fun. I raid on my priest, and through progression, but everything else I've been doing on my shaman. So I've been healing a lot on my shaman. And chain heal is just so fucking awesome. It is. I don't know if I would do a 100% swap, because I really do feel like the priest for me it fits. But I've been tank healing on my priest, right? So I'm constantly tank healing. I do a little bit of raid healing, but being able to just fill that niche with raid healing and chain heal, it's been a lot of fucking fun. And the main thing that really bothers me the priest is when I'm done healing on him for those days, I don't play on him other than that, because Shadow, I have okay Shadow gear. Maybe if I had better Shadow gear, I would appreciate it more. My Shadow gear isn't the best, but I don't feel like I would have anywhere near as much fun PvPing as a Shadow Priest as I do as an Ellie Shaman. I've PvP'd as Shadow before in Vanilla. It almost feels cheap to me, right? Because, I can beat almost any class 1v1. Maybe a Warlock can give me a run for my money. But any other fucking class, it's you hit two buttons and you win. Vampiric Embrace, Shadow Word Pain, Mind Blast, and then you just put a shield on and it just, you heal yourself and kill people. It's very mind dead to me in a lot of ways. Maybe because I've done it so often, right? And maybe
I know you like Shaman too, man. What if you could have a same level of gear Shaman, Enhanced Shaman or something? Would you main a Shaman, Defcamp?
That's the thing too, because I love Enhanced, I love Ellie, and I love Resto. But I also love Disc, I love Shadow. I probably like Shadow the least right now. I love Shadow way more in TBC as well. And man, I don't know. I would really have to think about it, but I'm just really... Thank God I have two, right? I have one of each.
True.
But Ellie is so much fun. I've never had as much fun as I had playing Ellie right now.
So Melderon's so motivated to play, man. He just loves it. He's got the rocket in it.
I think the real question is here, rather than would you switch a class to anything you could do, would you switch factions? If you could?
Oh, definitely.
Oh, come on!
No, never.
No way.
Thank you, dude.
Even though,
me and Dunedain are so opposed that I respect him right now. This is.
Even though my
I always respect Dunedain, but I respect him for not changing colors. He's not a turncoat like you guys are.
Melderon is the Horde purist, and Dunedain's an Alliance purist, and they play the faction-specific classes. I love it.
Here's the thing, though. Even though our queue times are horrible, and even though fucking whatever, I would still never go to Alliance. And for those assholes who were like, let's go Alliance TBC, screw you guys.
Come on,
I'm going to Horde TBC. I'm playing a fucking undead priest.
And you're going to be in 2-hour-long queues. Because everyone's going to be a Blood Elf Paladin.
And I won't be a dumb little Alliance fucking...
Defcamp doesn't want to play a female Night Elf priest, dude? Come on, dude.
Night Elf priest is a meme. God, get out of here.
Man. No, it's a serious consideration coming into TBC and we're talking about the state of Classic WoW. The faction imbalance is awful, and it's only going to get worse, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Do you think so? Maybe.
I think for me and Dunedain, I think we're both on the same page, and I think Defcamp is too. It's almost like cheating on your wife.
Oh,
yeah.
It's that bad for me, dude. It really is.
Really?
Seriously, dude. I am not joking.
I don't think it's that bad.
It's
For Melderon it is. I know it is. Melderon is.
I have been Horde since day one.
Melderon would rather cheat on his wife than play Alliance, dude.
He plays green. Fucking Zug brain.
Grace, what about you though, man? Would you switch your druid? This is kind of your first rodeo going through the whole server lifecycle. Are you loving druid still, or if you could just instantly press a button and get any class, any spec with the same level of gear as your druid, would you do it?
No, and I love tanking, and I love the role that I'm in. I think I would. I mean, what? I wouldn't go to a healer. I wouldn't necessarily go to a DPS. Would I change from druid to warrior? I don't know, man. I don't know what the answer's supposed to be behind that question. Like, I don't know if it's like a loaded question or not, but I don't really want to play anything other than druid right now.
From an outside source, Graze, I'm going to say this: you play your fucking class really well. For someone, I know for a fact that there are some other, druid tanks out there that are nowhere near on your level. You know what I mean?
Wasn't playing druid before that. You know what I mean? He picked this
Yeah.
up for classic. That's a huge boon to him. You know.
Yeah, I didn't play druid I played a gnome warrior when I was 9 years old in classic.
Yeah.
But no, man, I couldn't. I wouldn't play anything other than druid. And I think Kargoz, you didn't answer it. You were a hunter player from heart. Anybody that followed Kargoz, whenever I first met Kargoz, he was a hunter. And then all of a sudden he plays a warlock in classic, dude. And now you're not playing the game anymore, Kargoz. You fucked up.
Yeah.
What's your answer, dude?
I think I've said it before. I'll say it again. I really enjoy Warlock. Don't get me wrong. It was kind of everything I wanted it to be. Like when I played on private servers and I played Hunter, I used to get so envious of Warlocks. I'd be like, oh my god, I just can't outvalue these fucks. They just have so much gas. Like, and you see these Soul Link Warlocks and stuff, and I would just be so envious. And I would just think to myself, golly, if I just played a Soul Link Orc Warlock, I would be the bane of everyone's existence, and it's going to be so amazing. And it is. It's great, right? But there's something about the class fantasy, the look and feel, the play style, everything about Hunter that really is just the absolute best in slot.
So that's where this question was coming from, Kargoz. You were really feeling conflicted over there.
If I could press a button and swap all my gear over to a fully loaded out Hunter right now with the Adrathul big Chromagus crossbow, I probably would.
No.
Yeah,
You hate to see it.
Okay,
I will say if I
Actually,
could take like a 5-day vacation, I would do Fury Prod for sure. Yeah. Just a vacation though.
And I actually, this is funny because I said to Melderon, I said, dude, how about for like one raid, you let me play on your fully decked out shaman in Resto, and you can play on my priest and just see how we like it and whatever. Because like as much as I love shaman and all, I still don't. I haven't played shaman as long as I play priest, so I could get bored of shaman in like a month or two. You know what I mean? As healing. I'm talking about healing right now. I will probably never get bored of Ellie in PvP. And if I do, I can just go enhancement because enhancement's fucking amazing as well. But when it comes to like actually healing, that's the thing for me that I think is what I would have to like want to switch to. But what I think is the interesting question for probably Kargoz, and maybe that's about it because I think everyone else here would be set. Maybe me, I wouldn't know what to do. But if you could play only one character for the rest of Classic, what would it be, Kargoz? Would it be a Warlock or a Hunter?
It would be Hunter, man. I just I don't know why that means something. I mean, I really just love the class fantasy and the playstyle and the look and feel of Hunter. Like I say it again, like I've been playing some Dota too, Dota 2 too. But guess what my favorite hero is in Dota? I don't know. I don't know if anybody plays Dota. If you guys would guess. I mean, I'm kind of leading the passer here,
Nope.
so you're probably gonna guess.
It's probably
Yeah,
Hunter, I guess.
there's a hero called Lone Druid. It's you have a little pet guy that you control, and you're kind of a hunter pretty much. But yeah, it would definitely be that for me to answer your question. And I just I like animals a lot too. I'm really close with my dogs and stuff too. So I think that
The
that
level
is
of fucking Hunter, dude. Little friend Toast just said, do it. Make a non-hardcore Hunter and make him your fucking main. Just do it.
yeah. I mean, even IRL.
No,
though, I
quick,
think-
you'll get geared, dude. You get geared in one
Dude,
raid.
Kargoz, you can get that Hunter leveled in a week, and you'll have gear out of it.
And it will reinvigorate you as well.
Yeah.
It will be a good thing. Do it. I think
And we
you
need
should.
a Hunter. We need like a
Dude,
steady Hunter.
It's too bad we're not playing retail and you can just boost a hunter.
I mean, Hunter's level fast. I mean, here's the thing though, guys.
What the hell are you saying, Grace?
We're all dudes here, right? In the chat. What's cooler of a class fantasy, even in real life right now? Think about it. The coronavirus pandemic is taking over. Like, there's something amazing about the idea of like it's just you and your dog or something in the woods with like a little pocket knife or a little axe or something. You have to go build a little shelter, and then just your dog is pulling security while you sleep.
What was that movie with Will Smith?
You go,
with the zombies?
yeah,
the dog?
I Am Legend and
Yeah,
stuff
yeah,
like that.
yeah.
That's a deeply rooted like primal fantasy that
Sure.
dudes have. That you go out there and you survive with your dog, with your trusty loyal hound, right? And
Man's best friend.
that carries into Hunter so well for me. Right? and you're shooting, using bows and traps and all that. You'll love it. You'll love to see it.
Chat, tell Kargoz he should level 100. Come on.
There it is, ladies and gentlemen. For anybody that wanted to know where Kargoz was, we got it out of him. It took an hour of streaming. He was with the boys, but he didn't roll hunter, man. It's okay. Well, we'll fix you up, Kargoz. All of our hunters, you'll get MC gear right away, and BWL tier pieces.
Seriously,
are nothing, right?
I don't even think anyone else needs a crossbow at this point. I don't know, or
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
You're really unlucky with the
no, I don't know. I just our hunters are like one of our hunters fire right now, like with the whole thing right. Our hunter class lead, he's been really busy because of work, because of the whole Corona shit. So he's not been able to raid every week with us. And some of our other hunters, we've got a new hunter, who I think couldn't raid with us this week, and another hunter who couldn't raid with us this week. So we need like a consistent hunter, and you could fill in that spot, man. You could.
Yeah, I appreciate the supportive words. I mean, when you guys see hunters, do they look cool to you? Probably not. I don't know. When I see hunters,
They do.
They look
like
badass.
No, I'm kidding.
they do, right?
I'm just like, go pull that mob hunter.
The other thing is, as a shaman,
Maybe you want to play.
thank God I can get rid of fucking Viper Sting. It is such an amazing feeling to get rid of that Viper Sting.
Not to be the Debbie Downer, but we should probably transition. We have a lot to talk about. Still.
True.
Yeah, we do.
So let's want to go into the tool now, the demo.
You're a
Yeah, well, let's first before we get into it, let's talk about how long this has been in progress. Like what the dream was. Taladril, maybe you can kind of talk about this because this is your baby, dude.
Yeah, sure. So, well, long time ago, I made sort of a comprehensive list for druids that was cool. It just sort of listed all this gear in a general order with points rankings so that people could easily peruse what options there were and where they came from. And everybody really thought it was quite useful. It was like, yeah, that's pretty neat. So down the line, I got a little fancier and was able to do the same thing more specifically with my own generated stat weights for bear and for warrior tanks. And I thought it came out really well. Just the way the gear lined up and everything, it seemed like the logic was there, and there's a lot of value to be gained. And that was the first time too where I separated out for the tank specifically the threat and the survival component, which is really we're seeing now is an extremely important thing to look at, is like the threat value of items for tanks. And so you don't see that with a lot of gear stuff. They only give you one number rather than two to be able to separate out. So that sort of spawned the idea of like, hey, it would be really cool to have an interactive sheet, because just a set fixed sheet is really pretty minimal for what you can gain from that. So working with Ale and some other people to get this up and running, I was working on a sheet not just for the ones I've done, but for every single class, generally every single spec, at least rating spec, that you could find, so that it could be just a general gear tool for everybody. Now, it's not a best in slot list. I don't like best in slot lists. I don't think the concept isn't accurate, because nobody just magically gets gear everything they want. So you have to build your gear around yourself. Plus, especially for tanks, you have to build your tank set around your guild. Everybody asks me, what gear should I wear? And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know how good your guild is. That's too, really right? The question when you're a tank. Yeah, the fight, the guild, the raid speed clear, all that matters for what gear you choose. Even in our guild, like, our main tank was like, I gotta get all this threat gear or whatever, and then he kept getting killed, and it's like, well, dude, maybe you should wear some survival gear, and it's like, oh yeah, maybe I should. It's like, you gotta work to the guild. Like, maybe we're just not as hardcore as some of these top guilds, and that's okay, but you just need to make sure that you fit the gear to this setup. So
they've been working on it
for
a while, guys, like over a year.
Yeah,
I
this
think,
this was I had most of the raw data done as of last summer, so it's been about a year or
Been
so.
about a year.
But yeah, it's been over a year in the making to like process the data and get it ready, because most of the data, you know, and the reason why most of these sites don't work for just like stat sorting is that, like, for example, like MP5 it's not just listed in a column somewhere, so you have to sort of extract it out and then make it listed so it's useful. So big spreadsheets, lots of adjustments and playing with stuff. Oh, actually, one of the big ones too is that you know, when you look at these gear tools or something, these other ones that people might have, it's like it won't list things accurately. So like, for example, Wolf's Head Helm for Druid, it doesn't factor in the shape-shifting, power-shifting bonus that you get. Or Thunder Fury for tanks, it doesn't really list the proc in any way from like how valuable it is from a points perspective, because all they can do is look at Thunder Fury and say, well, it's got a little bit of agility, a little bit of stamina, whatever, so it doesn't, you know, how do you factor that in? Because the proc is such a weird thing and it's got such hard stuff, so you have to sort of force a lot of manual calculations into the final results so that stuff can at least get generally ranked accurately. And so this sort of takes into account all of those things, you know. So it's built by, you know, WoW people who know what the users need at the end result, rather than just simply looking at what numbers the spreadsheet provides and finessing it in that way.
So why don't you go over what we see here on the screen, Taladril? We see, you know, on the top, you can see where the race, the class,
Well, I
spec,
think
all
the
that
best way to
stuff.
do it is like walk through it as someone. So let's pretend we're a new player that wants to.
Right, yeah.
Let's do
Wait,
it.
holy
So,
cow, then.
Even
It's
taking a
So
few
you
steps
can-
further back from that, though, real quick, guys. This is a website, classicwow.live, that we've been basically running as a group together for over a year now. So if any of you guys are confused of what's going on right now, join in right now. You can follow along with the link in the chat right now, classicwow.live/gearplanner. This has been a feature of the site we've been working on for a long time, as Taladril said, and this is the first time it's being displayed to the public right now, and it may be of interest to you if you're actively rating and stuff like that. So there's the link if you want to follow along with us. And sorry to interrupt you. We can do the demo now. Sorry.
Right, so it allows you to have multiple setups, and so you can call the setup name whatever you want to, and the setup name would be copied if you share it with people. So if you want to have like your nature resist set, or your regular set, or your world buff set, or whatever else, you can save these different sets. And you can see those sets in the upper right. You've got the save setup or delete that allows you to save those things.
Let's pick a set. You want to
so
do
you
one of
can-
those nature resist or something like that?
Yeah, so I mean, if you want to pick a fury warrior or a fury tank, warrior or something like that.
Okay, fury tank. We'll call it fury
can-
tank. Human warrior. Fury tank. Oh, so it has 4 options here: Fury tank, Fury arms, and protection. As you can see, guys, it's nice that it differentiates Fury tank versus Fury. Right, that's something that.
Yep.
Make him an
Yeah, so
orc.
the stat weights are slightly different for those, for tank and fury, because the math runs out differently. Because the presumption for when you pick the spec is there's sort of some general math related things that is like, these are the talents that you picked. So it's presuming that you've got said talents for what the output is for the stats.
And obviously the race plays a big part, right? Because some races have, obviously,
Right, so certain ones have bonuses for that, yeah. So like Tauren, you see that stamina has a little bit of extra value, that kind of thing.
Which phase should we put him in?
Current phase 4.
You can do current phase 4, yeah.
Okay, so then we start plugging and chugging, right? Like each click each slot like this. So we hit head.
Yep.
And you can go to rarity, armor type. I assume you would just deselect everything other than plate. It'd be nice.
It's
if
just
you-
going to have,
no.
by default, it shows everything.
Yeah.
And so then you'll see
I
to
would
the
put
right.
male in plate because there are some male best in slot.
Oh right.
Mhm.
Okay.
So
Also, yeah, right now it shows you
it's going to automatically sort it. So, you'll see that the good stuff shows up at the top anyway. So even though it might be cloth, it's just going to be at the bottom because, tanks don't wear things with low armor.
True. So it's really nice. Look, it has enchant next to it. So if you hit enchant here, you actually choose the correct one for the head. I mean, it goes into that level of detail. It's it factors all things in, including the enchant. So you want to fill this one out real quick?
Yeah,
Yeah,
let's
if you select
remove
the enchant,
Lionheart.
you can see it, and then if you select Lionheart, you can see if you mouse over it with an enchant, it will include the enchant in the tooltip.
Yeah,
So
so
it's
remove
pretty cool
from the search field, remove Lion so people can see how we rank gears, because that's the big
Oh.
thing, right?
Okay.
Yeah. So
Oh,
if you go down
wow,
after
look
you
at
clear that, it ranks gear based upon points, right? So Helm of Endless Rage is considered the best in slot piece, or I'm sorry, Circlet of Restless Dreams is for some reason.
So it looked like I'm looking at like a Bloomberg terminal right now, dude. Look at this.
It's
Looks
because
awesome.
so stuff that has skill is rated very highly. Now that this is one of those things where it can't just be a best in slot list because you have to use logic. Like if you are a dagger fury tank, then Circlet of Restless Dreams is actually excellent for you because
Right.
plus daggers. If you aren't a dagger tank, then it's not that great, you know. But that's just one of those things. Like you can't really specify very easily which skill you care about, or the
Right.
same thing for like plus AP to beasts or demons or whatever else. It just considers it AP because there's a lot of, for phase 6 we're going to care about plus AP to undead, and so we don't want to discount those items, so those need to be shown appropriately for people to make the proper decisions.
Right. So you can make the idea, so like, okay, if I already have aged core leather gloves, I already have, you know, plus whatever 4 to
Right.
whatever it gives the daggers, I can go ahead and get Helm of Endless Rage because I'll have the max that I can get
Right.
for that bonus.
And you
stat.
can also, if you are doing that, you can also adjust the weight for skill manually too, and we'll get into
So I see how it says tank and
those-
threat here. I'm assuming tank
Right.
is survivability stats and stuff. Like
Correct.
stuff like dodge or even
so
just stamina and
mouse
stuff like that.
over the number. Mouse over the number, and it'll give you a tooltip for how those points are coming out. So you can see for tank, for Circlet of Restless Dreams, if you mouse over that one, 9.6 armor. So there's 9.6 points just from the armor, then 38 points from the stamina, and 19.4 from the agility. So that's giving you a dodge plus armor component.
And then this combined
then the-
value is just the threat plus the tank. You add it together, right? And then
Correct, exactly. So
Oh.
value is just tank plus threat. And
That's
you can
great.
sort by all of those. So if you care about threat, you can click on the threat column, and it will sort only by threat. So it doesn't care about the tank stats.
What
You can
about
just
healers
see-
though? All these would have to change with
Okay.
each type of spec and everything, right? There's no threat. I mean, threat is
Well, that's so
Let's try
right.
this.
So that's every single spec is different, and all of the values are different for every single class spec. All
So
that.
we're under Resto Shaman now, and this is exactly what Melderon plays.
Yeah,
all
right.
we have is value here, right? So there's no threat, there's no tank. It's
Correct.
just
So
value.
there's no tank or threat. It's just one number, which is pretty much the value for healing for Resto Shamans.
I'm never going to get that headpiece, but yeah.
Does this look right? Does this look right to you?
No, it
As
does
far as-
because Crystal Adorned Crown is amazing, but I'm never going to see. I'm never going to see that because it's a world boss, and we have a. Well, let's just say the world bosses are on tap on our server. So, Al, I'm looking at you. But anyway,
Yeah,
but yeah,
Well,
Crystal Adorned
yeah.
Crown is amazing.
And you can even adjust the weights yourself.
Yeah.
Like you can
Yeah,
use
sure.
custom weights, custom weights yourself. So if you don't
So
even
it
if you
gives
don't
you
care
a
about our
default.
one- okay.
Yeah, there's defaults for every single spec that gives you good numbers in general. But if you want to change it, then you can change it.
Right.
Now, before you get into that, just so that you can see, every single spec allows you to truly dive into every piece of gear. So this allows you to do some PvP type stuff if you care about it too. So like, let's say that you're on Shaman Restoration, but you really, for some reason, care about tank stats. Then if you click the little tanking shield button, it will change the tanking to tanking stats, so you can visualize it right there for what those items are actually giving for those tank stats.
I love these little tiny informational tooltip hovers too. It just makes it a little more user friendly when you're going through it.
It
feels
really does.
yeah.
And I think for a lot of people, you have to realize, like, you know, like Taladril said in the beginning, okay, Crystal Adorned Crown, right? So this fight, when you go back to the base, it says, you know, that the fight lasts 120 seconds, right? So for a shorter fight, obviously, bonus healing is going to be way of a higher rated stat for a short fight, because really, at that point, MP5 doesn't play a big value, intellect doesn't play a big value, but when the fight starts to get longer, you have these other weights which start to get a higher rating.
and
I
you
think
can
that's
edit the fight duration in the
exactly, yeah.
in the
And I think that's a really thing, especially as a healer, right? It all depends on, you know, the duration. And I can go into the In a little bit, I'll what I was looking at for my priest, and we can do that. Talk about that later, and how I changed my whole outlook on how certain fights. I really have to be looking at different gear because a fight that lasts longer, it's better to have a little bit more intellect or a little bit more spirit than it is to have maybe just 10 more bonus healing.
Yeah.
One thing I really like about this, real quick, is so not only do you get the value, right, but you can kind of just get a gut feeling sense of how much better an item is if you look at its value compared to another item. So I'm just going through Warlock, that's what I play, right? So I'm looking at this and I'm going, holy shit, Choker of the Fire Lord is not only BIS, like it's super BIS right now. Like it is many points above the second and third option. And it really is that simple, guys. You can go here, choose your race and class, and then just click one of the slots, head, neck, shoulder, whatever, head, shoulders, knees, and toes, and then look how it's ranked. And you get a very comprehensive look at all your options, and it's organized in a very simple way.
The other thing you can do is, one of the things Graysfordays was saying is like, I want to look at MP5 gear, so it's really easy to do that. In the right, you can see the sort stats button.
Yeah.
Sort stats all the way
to the sort stats way to the right. Kargoz, click on that.
Look at that MP5.
And then click MP5 and it will highlight and show you everything in order what MP5 stuff there is. And so you can do that for all of the stats if you care about them. So instead of looking at it by value, you can look at it by specific stats.
Yeah, and you can use this, and we got a lot of big brains here, especially Taladril, and a lot of people in the chat that min-max everything, and you're going for whatever values you're looking at. I'm doing some weird stuff. I have like a multi-box setup, and I'm looking for all MP5 pieces. There's not another website that I could find that just shows me MP5. I mean, I haven't gone through this. I haven't gone through the gear like sort list thing specifically, but I think that I'm going to be able to find gear that I couldn't find on any other website. I've been looking for good MP5 lists, and I'm already impressed with the uniqueness of what's offered.
The other
here.
thing you can see for people, because AQ is coming up, if you click on the resistance tab,
resist right here.
if you click on that, and then you can sort by the resistance, so you can sort by nature resistance. So now for every slot you can find everything with good nature resist.
It's massive.
Yeah.
It's massive.
It's gonna take you straight to all the good stuff.
All green stuff in the neck, yeah.
Yeah, but so all the green stuff you can see, so you see that there's a plus button next to those. If you click that plus button, it will expand it out, so it'll show you all of the different versions of things that thing can come with. But it will always show you the most applicable one for you. So if you're just going by value, it will give you the best value one. If you're going by nature resist, it'll put the nature resist one on top. So that's the one it'll show you. So it's not going to show you a million versions of the same thing because it's just a lot of repetition, but it'll always show you the best version of each of these random items.
It's nice to see this all come together, Taladril, man. I remember when you just had the raw data for this over a year ago, and now it's something that you can actually use and visually look at it. It's so cool, man.
Yeah, I think the best thing to do is kind of go through this as a new player, and maybe we should fill it out completely just to see how things change and stuff like that. Like, let's pretend, well, let's be honest, the most common person is going to be a Fury Warrior, right? So maybe we should do that
or
for
a mage. Sure. Yeah.
Basic Fury Warrior. All right. So
but I think the most amazing thing about this is it totally, like, so many people are, all they look at, I gotta look and see what my BIS list is. Look and see what my BIS list is. And it's not, guys, it's not as easy as just looking up what your BIS list is. It really comes down to what your guild's doing, what the fight is.
Yeah.
And I think we have to push that so much harder because so many people just say, "Oh, this is my BIS. This is what I have to wear for every fight."
Yeah,
that is not the case.
Well,
it really helps you with that,
In another instance too, like this is going to be a great tool for me as a bear tank in our raid. I'm hit capped and I'm tanky enough. I have enough mitigation, but I'm looking for one or two pieces that are going to give me more threat generation. You can't find that on a BIS list. You can't. You just find very general lists. With this list, I can come in here and I can go look for a replacement headpiece that generates more threat than what I've got. Not just look at a BIS list. So
exactly, it's to help you find gear that you didn't know existed and to answer questions. It's not so much just what's the best, yay, let's go with it kind of thing. That's never the
even if you're not trying to min-max and be super sweaty about it, if you're just looking for a very basic way to get your rankings of all your slots and just get a general thing, like you just pop in your race and class, you pick each slot. If I'm a basic Fury Warrior and I go, okay, here's all the options available to me, and it's giving me a nice
Or
convenient
here's-
value. Which one can I actually get, right? Which one?
Yeah, exactly. What can I get? Like, if you're a casual player and you don't have access to certain things, maybe you're trying to gear an alt and you don't have access to Blackwing Lair because you can only go into MC raids. Like, it allows you to find the best gear you can get for whatever you got.
Why is expert gold miner's helmet?
Well, go to
number
Orc
one,
and
though?
you'll see how that changes.
Because of axes.
With the axe
It's
skill.
the weapon skill. So a weapon skill is just super strong. So if it doesn't fit, then that's why you just need to keep going down until you find something that does. So that's why Lionheart's the top that's not skill based.
Mm-hmm.
No, this is crazy. So, especially, I've been doing like 19, 29, 39 twink brackets, and I'm doing this 19 rogue attack power build where they use Blood Fury, and I'm looking for the most attack power 19 green
There you
boots.
go.
And I just found
do
it.
that.
And I found it on this in 2 seconds, and I couldn't find this list anywhere else.
This is very twink friendly because I even for everything that has quest items, I figured out what the minimum quest level is for any quest item. So it's like, what do you have access to? Now, it might not be 100% perfect, but I tried to be as accurate as I could. So,
and especially 49 and 59 twink brackets. I know this is weird and unique, but giving us this resource, it's opening doors to a whole new world that hasn't been there.
There's a lot of twink stuff that is fun to figure out, and so I try to figure out, like if it's a crafted thing and it's like, well, it requires engineering 253 or whatever, then I figured out, okay, well, obviously, then it's like, then you have to be X level because you can only get, artisan at certain levels, that kind of thing. So all of that is figured out, so it should fit appropriate level requirements. It works for factions, it works for classes, and it works for level.
That's disgusting.
Damn.
Accurately.
That is so sick, man.
So let's pick Lionheart because that's obvious. If you're an Orc Warrior, I mean, I would probably go for that for headpiece because you already have the +5 from Axis, and even though the other thing, +7 is nice, I think, I would. Wouldn't you agree, Taladril, that the +7 is kind of overkill? What is it at plus something? It stops removing the
8. 8 is the magic number.
8 is the max, right? So if you have +5 and +7, you're above that 8.
Absolutely right.
So I think Lionheart would probably be better in that situation.
Yep. And that's the thing. You just got to know. You got to know the class. Got to know it. Like there is some thinking you have to know for sure.
Right. Let's keep chugging. So we got Lionheart in the head. Okay, neck piece. Are we gonna pick the absolute best for everything, or are we gonna try to make it a little custom for something that's actually obtainable?
Maybe we should have a discussion of why things are where they are. I mean, why is it? Ani so the pendant gives you hit and crit, right? So that's
that one's an obvious winner there.
All right.
And very easy to get too. So that one's a good one.
Shoulders, we got Warlord's Plate shoulders by not a huge
right.
margin,
So you
but
can say,
47,
those shoulders are not very obtainable by people. That you have to get high rank for that. So then you can see, oh well, if I can't get those, then True Strike are still friggin' amazing.
That's so crazy, man. True Strike, the UBRS Biz shoulders still so good. That's insane.
And you have to see though, do you need the hit? So you have the justice, right? So if you have the hit that you need from other
if you don't need the hit,
you don't need those, right?
You can say, I don't need the hits. Then you say, well, then what's the next best thing? Well, maybe the Abyssal Male Scrawlers, because they're only +1 instead of +2, so then I can gain more other stats at the same time as True Strike. Because it's almost the same value, but it's 1 less hit because it's more AP. So
if you didn't need any of the hit, the best one would be Drake Town Pauldrons. If you were good on hit, totally good on hit, because obviously hit is your most important. Until you're hit capped, that's what you need most of.
Yeah, if you're hit capped, then Drake Talon becomes better because that hit component is no longer important.
Right, but say you have Band of Akuria and some other stuff, you're obviously going to want those Drake Town Pauldrons. So do the Drake Town Pauldrons, and we'll try to get the hit from other gear.
We have a few questions. I think we should probably hit these first. The most question I've seen so far is, do the stat weights update dynamically as you gear?
The stat weights are static, but they are taking into account your spec. So, the calculations are right. So, for example, with warriors, if you're a tank, the strength adds to blocking, and so it takes that kind of thing into account. That kind of thing, or dodge for agility, that sort of thing.
But I wonder, so
we
it's like
are
hunters get some hit from talents, and depending on what class
So
spec, I wonder if that would
just
be
the
factored in.
general rollout is not the case, but like talents that include like plus, like paladins for example, plus 10% to intellect or whatever, that is taken into account because you're just presuming that you did choose those appropriate talents for that. So the spec is based around your sort of standard cookie cutter talent build.
If you wanted to get really fancy with it too, let's say you probably could tinker with this adjust weights thing.
Do the stat
and
weights
be able
update
to...
dynamically?
We'll want to
That's
dive into
been the
that, but
most
those are
annoying
definitely a little
part
bit more of the
setting up the
advanced
gear planner is
options
having to
for
recalc
people
my
that
weights.
really want to go into it.
So just on a very basic level, though, don't get overwhelmed, ladies and gentlemen watching right now. If you want to find out, the best gear available to you, you just come to the site, plug in your race and class and spec, just select each slot, and then see what pops up down here. And there's going to be a value with a number, and it could be that simple for you to make use of this tool. It doesn't have to be the most,
Exactly.
all these
Yeah, I think
algorithms and all this stuff. So.
I think with these things is that you have to have some knowledge of your class, right? If you know you're hit capped with, let's say you have Drakefire or the Talisman or whatever, right? And you know you're hit capped, you have to know as a warrior that you don't need another hit piece if you're 9% hit.
Right, that's the presumed assumption that's always made with best in slot lists, is they give you a specific single piece of gear, and that's because they're tailor making it for you for that. Because it's like, oh look, yes, well this gear set gives you the proper hit cap because we know what we're doing, you just need to follow us. But any gear list can't have that kind of understanding of the exactitude of what you need to do to make your class function. So that's why there is a little bit of extra homework that you need to do if you need something more than just a single item slot per phase, pretty much.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so I think with the hit from other items, it looks like obviously Warlords, if you can get that, it's going to be the best. But if you already have the hit from other items, I would definitely go for the Drake Talon for the shoulders there.
Right.
Yep.
Let's go back now. We've got the Poussin Cape.
Yep, again, that one's probably one that people aren't going to have access to because it's a Kargoz. So it's like, well, if you can't have Poussin, then you probably would be going for Cloak of Draconic Might.
All right.
Now, my guild's only seen about 2 of those, so if you can't get that, then you have to keep going down the list trying to find, well, what else do you actually have access to?
Savage Gladiator Chain, the bane of a lot of people's existence. Just looking at the values, I mean, it's interesting when you see a really, big increase.
Look how much better it is than anything.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Go significantly better.
Level 52 epic, yeah. Yeah, so someone was asking about set bonuses. So set bonuses is something that you're going to have to factor in, right? Because, obviously there's so many different set bonuses. There's so many different, attributes that you can weigh and say, oh, this set bonus is good in this particular thing. So what I did is I weighed the set bonuses in my own way. So, if I am doing a certain fight or, like Melderon, that obviously is a shaman, the 3-piece set bonus, you can weigh in, get that 3-piece set bonus depending on your fight of what you need. And then weigh in the other items where you think they're going to go in the best. But a lot of set pieces have a higher rating, right? Just because of the set,
Right. Yeah. So a classic is obviously Devilsar. So if you go to just plug that in, you've got the Devilsar gauntlets.
So go to
you've
hands.
Go to hands and look for Devilsar. And you'll see they're probably not super high because it's not factoring in the future set bonus, okay? But if you select Devilsar gauntlets, and then you also select the Devilsar pants, you'll see the Devilsar leggings. You'll see that the hit does get factored in the stats at the top. So it does understand that you have the set. And it's I'll wait for Kargoz to get it there.
Yeah, there it is.
So you can see that the hit increases because you chose Devilsar. So it is going to give you the right output for the stats. So stats on sets is taken into account, but the value, it's just one of those things that's it's impossible to add it to the individual value of an item because it doesn't know whether you're going to select the set or not.
Yeah, an example would be, a shaman looking for a tier 2 3-piece, right? So when we originally put the headpiece in for shaman, the world drop boss dropped, right? But if you need to have that tier 2 3-piece, you have to know how to optimize that 3-piece.
Right.
So there are other, classicwow.live, Egregious is part of this group as well, and we have the classicwow.live Egregious guide to shaman progressive bits. You have to have prior understanding of these things. If you are just kind of walking into the game blind, this might confuse you a little bit. So I recommend having some research, but this will still help you find the pieces that you need to look
Absolutely.
for. That's kind of what we're trying to do here.
So actually an example too here is that items that have on use or have procs associated with them, those are attempting to have a value added to them as well. So a classic here you can see in the legs is Cloudkeeper leg plates. So if you mouse over those, you'll see that they've got that increased attack power for 30 seconds.
Right.
See
Great.
that?
Looks like he's having a great
So
Dude.
if you go to Kargoz, if you can click on the green button, the base stats.
The green button up by base stats. Yep.
There is a proc column.
Where do I see it though? To hover over it.
Sorry,
Oh, yeah.
so in the right there, yeah, base stats, and so there's a proc column, and so that proc column is it's a static number, but it's an additional increased value to the right.
I see. So it adds 9.38 with the proc.
Yes,
So,
so that is the value of the proc effectively. And so that's telling you, and that the presumption for all the procs is what value does this add over the course of a 2-minute fight.
So this
if
would make
it's
it
something that
third
can
best
be
in
used-
slot then, right? If you added the 9.38 to the 51.08, it's going to be right behind Dark Heart Pants. Because it'll be 60.
Well, it is factored in already. So that is
okay.
how much it is. It's part of the 51.08 naturally.
Okay. Makes sense. So without this proc, it actually sits much lower than this. So like if this is on cooldown or
Correct.
something, then you're not going to be using this.
Then you would not want to be using it, right? Yeah.
I see.
Taladril, can you explain what it says, like when you have the plus Abyssal Mail Leggings plus that item? Like it's saying basically that those two items.
There's other items that could be that. So the random enchantments. Those are the random enchantments in the Defcamp. So if you click on the
Oh, okay, right.
I really like how it shows the source here too. A lot of times you get a list and then you just presented with this wall of blue and purple and you kind of forget where everything comes from and you just kind of tap out. But the fact you can see where it's from right here, just the source, I don't know, just a lot. There's some attention to detail here. There really is, man. I commend you for your efforts. It looks really good.
Yeah, dude, I just found a weapon that is... It just blows me away because I'm looking in the 19 twink bracket and I just found a weapon that's a second faster than Venom Strike and it does the same amount of DPS.
You're
and just
using this for the
situational that I
twink
didn't even
stuff,
know
too?
about.
No,
Huh?
You're using this for the twink stuff too?
Yeah, no, I'm looking
Oh,
through
yeah.
it. So I put
I mean, if you want to do twink stuff, just instead of choosing level 60, choose level 19, and then that will show you the items that are available to level 19.
Dude, choose level
I know.
39. I've been trying to make a glass cannon shaman twink build with Pendulum of Doom, and people have told me they've kind of already got their gear sets figured out. But if you want to do specific things and you want to stack more stam, you want to stack more int, for some reason you want to stack more spirit, this list or this tool is unbelievable. It really is talented.
Dude, this is
It's
counterculture
very
right
good
here,
for
though.
finding stuff for sure.
This is putting Lil Timmy's pea shooter substantially above Venom Strike.
That's what I'm saying,
That's
dude.
weird, though. I don't think that's
Well,
true.
what class are you playing? What class are you on right
It's
now?
a hunter. It's an orc hunter.
Oh, okay.
Well, and you can look at the values and stuff, but I like that it gives me the list, and if you're looking for a faster weapon, you have all the weapons in the 19 twink bracket available to you. Like, if you want to get off if you just want to kill people in 19 twink bracket and you just need to get one shot off, you might go for a 1.8 speed weapon instead of 2.7. I know it sounds stupid and very niche, but this tool allows you to fulfill these niche things.
That is pretty cool. It basically shows every item in the game.
So I'm
It
sorry,
is pretty much every item in the game, yes.
I think you were confused with. So my question was, if you go back to where you were, Kargoz. So if you have an item, right, and it says like Abyssal Mail plate, Abyssal plate of striking, and then it has plus, and then it shows a separate items is that saying that that item is better if you have that other item?
No, so the plus, if you click on the minus button, or I'm sorry, if you click on the plus button, it will turn into minus buttons, and it will simply list. It will show Abyssal Leg Plates of Striking and Abyssal Leg Plates of Restoration. And so the Striking one, you can see the value is 53, and instead the Restoration is only worth 21.7 because it doesn't have the stats you care about as a Fury.
And you can save your setup here too. Does that give you a link or something that you can save, or
It'll save it. It saves it to your cookies.
Okay.
And then, but also just the URL is just a live URL. So if you share your URL with anybody, it will take it straight to whatever your setup is.
Dude, this is sick. I'm legit gonna
So
use
it's
this.
very easy to share it. It's very easy to share your builds with other people. You just copy paste the link and people click on it and they can see exactly what you've got set up.
And also, guys, this is like Taladril said before the stream even started. This is the mostly complete version, so we're looking to improve this and add more features or refine it more. So if you guys have any feedback, we'd really appreciate it. It's totally free to use as well. I should mention that there's no cost.
Yeah, two important things that will be added is how item weights scale with buffs like ZG buff and Blessing.
Yeah, the big one is the Spirit of Zandalar and the Blessing of Kings. Both of those specifically have a % increase on base stats. So because of that, those adjust the relative value of items depending on whether you have that buff or not. So if you do have that buff, then certain items that are like, instead of Devilsar, which are like plus AP, you have something that's plus strength. That plus strength thing might be stronger because
it gets affected by the buff.
It gets a bigger buff. Yeah, it gets a boost. So you see things change depending on that. So it can give you a sense of what your world buff set is versus your non-world buff set. Certain things change their value because of that, and it will dynamically just tell you that information.
I don't want to put you on the spot, Taladril, but how unique is this tool than some of the other tools like 60 upgrades, Classic Wowhead? I know that they're very similar, and I'll say from a dude, I'm not a fucking min-maxer. I'm not a big brain like you guys are, but from a perspective of just a database and looking up items, I was able to pick it up right away on classicwow.live. It's a lot more user-friendly. I'm not trying to chill it or anything, but what's the difference between classicwow.live's database to some of the other ones?
That's a good question. So I mean, I think it is more user-friendly, but that is up to the user. You do get used to whatever you're using. Wowheads I don't think is good. 60 upgrades is the other decent one. Their biggest problem, I think, is that they don't have general proc information. So, like for example, Thunder Fury is never going to be at the top of their lists because they don't factor the proc in. They're only factoring the stats in. The other big one is they don't really have, as far as I can see, they just simply looked around and looked for sources for information on stat weights, and they just plugged whatever in. Without really doing their homework for figuring out what appropriate stat weights are. The ones I put in there's a lot of mathematical calculation and also finding the best of the best of the theory crafting community, trying to find the best weights possible.
Dude, you don't have stat weights for tabards.
That's true.
Everybody knows that the Scarlet Monastery one is the best. Or is it?
It's not. I just want to say like how I've really used this and how I've kind of increased my knowledge and so obviously I have a good amount of knowledge when it comes to healing as a priest, and I have always weighed certain things and you really have to look at what is going on in your guild and your fights and kind of go off that, because you get these static BIS lists, and they weigh, like, say for instance, True Faith, right? Everyone says, oh, True Faith is BIS until the AQ 40 chest piece, the offset one, right? Now, for a lot of people, that's true, right? But for a lot of people, including myself, and if you go to a Holy Priest and you go to chest, the tier 2 Transcendence comes up, and I'm like, wait, Taladril, how come this is coming up? It has almost 20 less bonus healing, but when you factor in the amount of healing that you get from the Spirit, the amount of Spirit that it has, True Faith also has no intellect. The amount of intellect that Transcendence has, I think, is like 27, right? You factor in all these things that Truth Faith didn't have, it doesn't have. And I gotta say, I myself have started wearing the Transcendence chest over, and I have noticed that my longevity in fights is better. My MP5, and just and I've noticed a lot more priests using the tier 2 chest over True Faith just because of those stats that you overlook when you're going into going through trash. Obviously, I had like 8.3k mana buffed in our last BWO, and having all that mana, without that, I have like 7.6, something like that. It's like ridiculously, especially when you get those Zandalar buffs that increase it even more, right? So, that little thing that just showed me, okay, maybe I shouldn't go what everyone else is saying, and maybe try this, and I tried it, and seeing how that spirit already increased, you only lose like 10 bonus healing, wasn't that bad at all, and the amount of like longevity of fights that I get through with it, the amount that I can like keep on going with trash, I now weigh in my head that Transcendence piece over True Faith for most fights. The only time I really wear True Faith is on Veil, when you obviously don't need the mana, you don't need anything else. Any other time, I feel like for me personally, within the amount of mana that I need, the amount of constantly moving and doing what I'm doing, having that Transcendence piece has been such a blessing. Like, it's been so much better than just simply saying, okay, True Faith is better, you know what I mean? Like, and this is what that tool did for me. It really showed me that, like, don't just go to these cookie cutter builds that everyone says is better. Like, you have to really look at like what is going on in your guild, what's going on in on your fights, and really weigh these other pieces that might have a little less bonus healing but have so much other great stats that really help you in other ways.
Dude, there's some spicy shit here, bro. Why is Arcanite Dragonling the best trinket by a substantial margin here under the trinket?
I'll tell you. Okay, so
this is
those trinkets. If you look and see like what damage those pets do, they do some crazy damage. Especially the biggest one is the that tentacle. Man, that tentacle outputs mad DPS. If you look at it, it does like almost 4,000 DPS.
Oh my god!
Like if you think about that, well, it's insane for a trinket slot when you figure out what those things do. So that's really what it is. It's just saying, well, how much damage does that pet do? And if they survive, because that's obviously the caveat. If they don't die. If they survive, they're really, really strong.
I've been using this for months and months since Molten Core came out. The cool thing about these summons, too, guys, is you can use them before the fight. I mean, it's got a long-ass cooldown, right? So you only have to pick one fight to use it for. But you can swap through them, right? There's a bunch of Necromancer effects or whatever you want to call them that. But all I'm saying is, I've known Arcanite Dragonling is good for a while now, because I'll use it once per raid or whatever. I'll just throw it on before and then swap trinkets right after I pop it. But this puts it in perspective for you to see how much better it is. 94.83 value. Compared to Neltharian's tier, 75.6. And this is something you can pre-pop. I just think this would probably make people realize, okay, that's not a meme. I really should actually pre-pop that.
Yeah, the battle pets are really good. I'm sure that top guilds pull them out once in a while, or at least they should. Like, especially if you're trying to burn a boss, if you're trying to do, like, fast kill times on just individual bosses, man, those battle pets gotta be insane to help that out.
I don't think a lot of people know that Defender of the Timber Maw has higher potential damage output as a trinket than Talisman of Ephemeral Power.
Yeah, not a lot of people know that.
Well, just look at the trinkets. Like, is Hand of Justice amazing? Abso-friggin-lutely. Yeah. But it adds 20 attack power and a 2% chance to gain a hit. So it's like, it's not, when you're looking at the stats itself, it's not that amazing. Trinkets have low stat value compared to a chess piece. Like, would you rather have 2 chess pieces or 2 trinket slots? I think everybody would choose 2 chess pieces because you can hold a lot more stats on a chess piece. So, like, it's all about relative value, and that's the thing, is everybody's fixated on the best in slot things, and they start forgetting about what other things exist and how they can stack up. So that's really keeping things in perspective is really the key for what these things can add.
Yeah.
I was zoned out for a while, but I was going through the Paladin thing on the tool. But since you're a Holy Paladin, I'm really interested in the stat weights. We talked a little bit beforehand, and I changed them quite a lot because I thought MP5 was a bit overrated. But how did you calculate? You said stats are static, right? But I feel like if you have more crit, then MP5 becomes even less valuable.
Right, so the way that I calculated general healer stuff is the important thing to try to get a single number is to try to equate plus heal versus the value of mana, because mana gives you more heals. So plus heal is like an idea of where you can downrank. So you downrank spells so that you can cast more spells to get the same HPS output. Upranking is like mana, effectively. You cast a bigger spell instead to give you that more healing output. So that offset between upranking of just pure mana and downranking of plus heal, that can give you a single stat. And so that's how I equated it. So I figured out generally what an average sort of casting output, like what spells you would cast in a minute, and out of that, like try to get a ratio for stuff, and like how different plus heal amounts would output versus how much mana would output. And I would just simply say, okay, plus heal gives X amount of extra health at the end of it, and what would casting an extra spell be to equate to that? So that's pretty much how I did the math for those.
I see. I'm really interested to see how AQ and Nax is going to be, because right now fights are really short, obviously, and you value healing and crit higher. But crit is like a double stat for Paladin. It's like both power and mana. So it's
so that was taken into account, was the amount of mana versus that.
Yeah, you're not kidding, Defcamp. Rejuvenating Gem slaps, dude. It's almost double as good as the Blue Dragon.
Dude, it's so the Blue Dragon, and you know what's really interesting is that Hazard's Charm of Healing, and I've been really looking at that thing as a priest, because you know, a lot of people like look at the ZG trinkets and like, they're kind of shit. But so read what it is. It reduces the casting time of your greater heal spells by 40%.
Which one?
So your greater heal now becomes, I think, just as quick as a flash heal, if I'm not mistaken, almost, right? So if a 2.5 reduced by 40%, does anyone know the math on that?
Yeah, hold on.
Melderon's doing calculations.
1 second.
1.7, you
So
said?
it removes 1 second, so it becomes 1.5 second cast.
Okay, so it becomes as fast as a flash heal, right? And it reduces all your mana cost for spells by 5% for 15 seconds. So what I'm really thinking is, like, if you have that, and say you're like 8-piece tier 2, that could be really, really, really good. So it's not a bad trinket. Plus, if you use that plus another item, you get the bonus set piece of the 22 healing. I use the belt and the shoulders, which give me the 22 healing through there. But if I wanted to use that, I could use that and use Firemost Clutch or something like that to use that. But you know, it's just really cool how it's like, you know, really showing you different options, and things that you thought might not be that good could actually be really good. But yeah, you know, the Rejuvenating Gem is an amazing piece. But it really I really like the idea of, like, you know, for certain fights, you know, obviously something like Veil or something like, you know, where you're putting out a lot of healing, you know, you really want to optimize, you know, bonus healing out the ass. But, you know, and talking what you're saying, Dunedain, I think, you know, once we go into AQ, yeah, your fights might be short now, but like, do you have so much crit that, you know, you're not going but your bonus healing is taking a hit from it, right? Because, like, if you're not putting out enough healing in something like AQ where people are getting hit, yeah, that crit is nice, the fact you're not going but you also want to weigh into effect, okay, if you have enough crit to the point where you're going to outlast in this fight, you might as well start, you know, putting in the bonus healing now at this point, because if you're not going to go then why are you going to just keep stacking crit? You might as well get that bonus healing and get the crit if you can.
Exactly. It's kind of a balance, so you have to see what you have and then accordingly adjust. Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to be able to, like, the ideal for healers is to be right when the fight ends. That means that your output was at maximum. But yeah, that actually, you know, so maybe we should start looking at the adjust weights a little bit just to show it. So this is the more complicated section. There are some tooltips. There's some that are missing still, but you can see that a lot of them are gray, and it's like, why can't I change these? It's because these are being factored by other inputs, and so it's to make it so that you can't do something that's mathematically impossible.
Right.
So it would say, like, if you mouse over strength, it's like, okay, strength is calculated from attack power and block value. If you mouse over the little eye thing, it'll show you the little informational about what it is and how it's getting figured out. So you say, oh, okay, so
Dude,
if you want to
fight
change the
duration
value
is
of
here
strength,
too? That's huge,
yeah.
man.
So you can see for fight duration, well, if you go to like MP5, that would be in the caster tab. Then you can see MP5. It's calculated from the value of mana and fight duration. So if you want to have more accurate stats for what you've got, especially for MP5 for healers, then you plug in your fight duration. You can say, okay, for Vale, it's only a 40-second fight, so you could put
Great
40
to see
seconds
you
in
guys
there,
back at it.
and you
Hope
could. It
everyone
will
is
change
healthy and
how
safe,
valuable
gang.
MP5 is. Now int will probably stay the same because it is just based off of a single amount of what the mana is. But all of these calculations are correct for all of the classes in general.
Does 60 upgrades even have this? I never even saw this before in any other tool, guys. Like, do you guys understand the
they
gravity
allow
of this? Fight duration?
60 upgrades allows you to put in your own personal static stat weights, but they don't allow you to just change them manually on the fly. I don't think it's a real
So if you wanted
headache.
to find the best gear for your guild, right, you would go back and see how fast do we actually kill these bosses, right? Like, maybe we're killing some of the bosses in BWL in a minute 15. Maybe your onslaught, you're killing it in 30 seconds or whatever it might be. You can plug that in, and that's going to affect these weights in some capacity, right? I don't know the actual
It'll affect
details, but-
MP5 and HP5 specifically. But yeah, so like you can adjust all these values. So if you're let's say you care about AQ coming up and you're a melee who's going to be soaking, you could go to the resist tab, and for nature resist you could put a 1 in there. And now everything with nature resist is going to be valued a little bit more than nothing. And if you hit calculate, then stuff will start floating to the top that's nature resist that wouldn't have normally been seen before.
Right.
Or if you say, okay, I'm a fury warrior, I'm hit capped, I don't need hit, and I also don't need skill because I've got that in the bag. Okay, fine. Then go to melee and make sure that you set hit to 0 and weapon skill to 0, and now those things will not be factored into how much the value of the item is at all.
You could do the inverse too. Someone's asking about world buffs, Taladril. So is there a way you could manually sort of increase or decrease your hit? I would imagine you could, right? You would just factor in the world buff.
It doesn't
stats.
have caps. It won't take into account caps. You'd have to figure that out on your own. But it does allow you to change the value of the thing.
I'm saying if you get a couple percentage crit from world buffs, you could factor that into these stats, right? You would just I guess you would add 5 crit to the weights. How would that work?
Well, the crit that's just part of your general stats. Like gaining crit from your items doesn't change the value of it. It's still the same as long as you aren't at crit cap or hit cap. Then it doesn't matter per se. But if you are at crit cap, then you could set the value of crit to 0, and then things that are just pure AP would then float to the surface.
Okay. Interesting, man. Very interesting. Oh man.
Yeah, it took a lot of time and effort.
So
Obviously,
if you pick a tanking spec, then you can see that if you look at the adjust weights, then there is in the upper right going to be 2 tabs. Maybe just to do that, just to make sure so people can see it.
2 tabs. I'm under tanking right now. Yeah, tank.
Okay, so
tank
go
weights
to
and threat
adjust.
weights.
Yeah, adjust weights again. So click on an item, adjust their weights, and then in the upper right you can see there's tank weights and threat weights. So every single weight can be adjusted there. So your tank weights will adjust the tank column, and the threat weights will adjust the threat column to give you a total value. between the two of them. So you can have ultimate control over exactly what you want. And this is something no other gear tool has tank weights and threat weights separated out. They only have one number that you can assign to things. So that's a big one, is that if you really want to delve into both survival and threat at the same time, this is the only way to do that.
Very impressive, man. Super impressive. So you can get very big brain with it, like Taladril saying, with the threat weights, or if you're just a simpleton like myself and you want to go in here and see what options, kind of gear you have access to, just plug in your race. For me, it's going to be Orc, Warlock. Yeah, I'm Destro at the moment. And then just choose a slot, and then it'll give you some really clean results for you. And you can tinker with the stuff a little bit, so it doesn't have to be overwhelming, or it can be, and maybe that's what does
well,
it.
So here's the thing. If you're a big brain and you're trying to work with your little brain guildies, if you go to the adjust weights again, and let's say it's like, I've got my own custom, Taladril's an idiot, I don't like him, I've got my own custom stat weights that are really worth it. Go ahead and Kargoz, go to the adjust weights thing again. You can change the weights, and then once you've got what you like for your own personal set, you hit this generate key in the lower right. It will create a key which you can then give to your guildies, and you can say, use this key, and then they can stick a key in, and that will be your custom weights that will be used for them, that they can then use your custom weights.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
It allows them to
I can see this for the high-end people just being like such an amazing tool, but also for the people like Gray said, like you can literally be leveling up and find an upgrade. Oh, this is the best thing that's available right now at this level. Yeah. Like for someone who's just leveling, or for someone who's twinking. Like as I was leveling my shaman, like when we were building this, I was using so many times like, oh my god, what's available right now at this level? Oh, this axe, I had no idea I can go get it at this dungeon. You know what I mean?
Hold up, we can test this. We can test this. So if you're leveling as arms, right, and you're level 30, and you want to just find a weapon upgrade while you're leveling. Let's see.
No, dude, we're playing hardcore Kargoz, and you're looking for survivability gear.
So that's the thing. Like, let's say you're a healer spec, okay? But this is for raiding, right? Let's say you're a healer, but you want to do PvP. Well, why don't you add some value to health so that you can see stuff that's good for whatever? Like, you can adjust a whole bunch of stuff. It's like, I actually want some spell hit, or not spell hit, but like a spelled power, and I want some stamina. Well, you can just plug that in and adjust these stat weights. So now you've got yourself the Rekadin, whatever, Shockadin kind of PvP setup kind of thing. It's whatever you want to do. This is just starts out as a default of rating spec, but this allows you to make the adjustments you need for PvP.
You can tell it's working, man.
Or anything else.
Level 30 warrior, right? Just visualize this, ladies and gentlemen. You're leveling up a 30 warrior, you're like, oh, what kind of weapons should I get? And you know, Whirlwind Axe is like pretty much the best thing you could possibly get. I mean, most people are going to get Whirlwind Axe, but it's interesting to see Manual Crowd Pummeler ranked above Whirlwind Axe. By a substantial value margin, but
and that's presuming the use. Like manual crowd pummeler is insane for its on use effect.
Right.
Once that goes away, then it goes down.
And we can see, I'm learning, right? If you go to base, you can see how much of the proc is responsible, right? Oh no, it doesn't show.
Well, that one's based on haste. So there's a haste in the adjust weights. So the manual crowd pummeler is actually a special case because it's so impacting of feral druids and rets. So you can change the haste in there specifically to adjust what manual crowd pummeler does.
Yeah. If I was a warrior, I'd grab one just for the fun, use the 3 charges, and switch to one.
Yeah, right.
Exactly.
That's pretty sweet, man. So that's probably what I'm going to use it for. I mean, I'm going to while leveling, just finding good, upgrades and stuff.
It's amazing for that.
It's good for everybody. Yeah, it really is. It's anything,
dude.
Right at the top there.
I'm just thinking about being level 33, and I'm going into Stranglethorn Vale. And listen, I know it might not be realistic, but you want to go into STB Stacked, and you plug in your level, and you can look at the source and see the best quest items available to you, which is nuts at your fingertips, and it's all on one page. You don't have to go from it's not limited to 50 like it is on.
You don't have to specify, make a whole new character, make a whole new spec. What level are you? 60 upgrades requires a lot of questions to be answered before you can even get to the gear. This just is like, just plug it in, it's right there for you.
I bet you Nubs didn't know that Stonecutter Claymore of the Tiger is better than the Archeus Morgan Lattimore's sword while leveling up, you bunch of noobs. We're at level 30. I bet you guys are misplaying and using the Archaeus for the RP value when you really should be using the Stonecutter Claymore of the Tiger.
You know what would be really fun is to use this as a guide
Great
for your
episode.
leveling adventures.
Really
Be like, okay, every level you go get the best in slot weapon.
Yep.
Yeah.
That'd be a
No,
lot of fun,
seriously.
you know? Yeah.
I'm thinking about the hardcore applications of this. Because playing in hardcore, the gear upgrades were nuts and they felt really good. But to actually be able to plan it out, you just kind of stumbled upon whatever you could. But if you're not a big brain and you don't know all the quest rewards in each zone, you could travel halfway across the world just to go get some badass boots, you know,
Yeah,
for your hardcore.
What I think is
Well,
really cool about
so
this is that
here's a cool one. Go to I don't know if this is a human only quest, but have it be human and Warrior Arms at level 19.
Ooh,
What's better than Smite's Mighty Hammer?
I know what you're talking about.
Hold
It's
up,
the
let's see. What do you say? Level 19 warrior? Best
Yeah,
weapon?
level 19
Human.
warrior, but human possibly.
Human, and then we hit main hand. Dude, this is even more fun. Oh yeah, Glacial Stone. I was shilling about
Yeah.
this weapon
Yeah.
slaps. It
Yep.
takes forever to get it. You have to go on this epic
Right.
quest line, but it's honestly really fun and worth it because it
Yep.
is really long and rewarding.
there it is.
Oh yeah, Glacial Stone.
Now,
Way
now
better.
can you do the Horde version and it won't show you Glacial Stone? Is that how it works?
Let's see.
If it's a
Go do a Horde character.
yep.
It doesn't show. It actually works.
That's
Nice.
beastie.
That is beast. Yeah.
That's big brain right there, baby.
That is
Yep.
big.
All
brain.
that stuff takes into account, including. So here's the thing that most, I think most sites don't even realize too, is there's quite a few items in MC, BWL, AQ, all that stuff that are faction specific, and all of those things are accurately shown too. So you cannot get the things that are not available to you.
I fucking love you, Taladril. This is crazy. As content creation and just coming up with game modes like you guys said, this is nuts.
It's funny. Imagine you're twinking, right, Grace? You're twinking,
Mm-hmm.
and you, of course, you're gonna want to use Black Malice because you know you're a big Chad warrior. You're gonna be using that two-handed mace, right? It's got the shadowy bolt proc, right? No way you're using Soy Boy Witching Staff with 8 intellect and 11 shadow spell damage, right? No way is my big Chad warrior gonna be wielding this
Right,
garbage
right.
witching stave. But then you look
Yeah,
at it
but
and
it's
you're like,
freaking
what?
amazing.
I don't even believe it. A part of me wants to reject it because Black Malice is so good, but you know.
Must use axe.
Oh, but look at it. I mean, the DPS is high.
I'm pretty sure there's no single twink using this witching staff right now who's a warrior. If I saw a warrior with this in the BG, I would actually make fun of them, dude. I would whisper them and be like, "Bro, what are you smoking, man? Let me get some of that."
As he like two hits you.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I think
That's actually legit. It's nice and slow. Look at that. That's really
Yeah.
good.
I love how
Taladril
people
didn't
get
even know.
Staves can
funny.
slap.
How
bro.
about
You're like,
Twisted
really bad.
Channer
There's
Staff?
some
Twisted
really good
Channer
ones.
Staff, man.
Yeah.
That's like, oh yeah, you're totally gonna choose that.
I know some people were asking questions, but if you guys want to ask questions, now's the time. I would say, you know.
Yeah. Dude, this is fun. I'm genuinely serious. Scouts Honor, polygraph me. This tool slaps. This tool is actually legit. I'm gonna use this tool.
Yo,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
another thing you have to realize is that this is better than a database in a lot of ways. Because
Yeah,
you can
it is a
in a lot of
database.
ways.
It is
Yeah.
a database. That's
Yeah.
true. But it's better than like just searching for, weapons in your
Yeah, it's-
level.
It
Yeah.
doesn't just show you what's popular. It literally is ranking everything in the game
I'm pushing it to the
as
limit.
you are seeing it.
Level 1, dude. What's gonna pop up if I type in
Oh yeah, dude, level 1 twinks.
Is there
I
anything?
got so excited.
No items.
Yeah, there's-
How do
There's some things for some things.
I'll go level 2. Maybe that'll work.
Level 2.
No,
I wonder if it's because your arms and arms can't exist.
Oh, because you have to,
Oh,
maybe you have to
yeah.
be 10. Let's see.
I don't know. I'm surprised that level 1 items actually aren't showing up there.
Well,
It should
I
be
think it's the spec.
default.
Man. It's the spec because it's
Okay.
like minimum level 10. I would imagine. It's a
Damn.
meme.
It doesn't show, dude. If it showed gray items, there's no way it does.
Grays for days would love that. Still though, you can see this level 10 item is the Birchwood Slapper of the Tiger right here, 125.8. Yep. Very
Well,
cool.
check out the offhand stuff. No, there's some interesting stuff, because it's stuff you can get without, just with rep grind stuff.
Looks like you got a lot of fans of it, man. A lot of people digging it. That's awesome.
Amazing job, dude. I'm legitimately gonna
Seriously,
use
this is like when you think about how much must have went into this and like all the different weights and everything like that. It's really impressive. Really, really, really impressive.
Ooh, Hook of the Master Angler. No.
Great job, Taladril.
Yeah, great job, man. Yo, can we get some hype in the chat for Taladril's large brain, in action here, making this all possible? It's totally free if you guys want to use that. Put the link in the chat. And this we're not like some big, massive wowhead type corporation. It's just a few dudes. And
I mean, you guys can pay me in Taladril if you want, but you guys can pay me if you want. I'm kidding.
It's Ale and Taladril that maybe Melderon and Defcamp. I mean, you guys, everybody helped a large amount, but I have to say, Ale and Taladril have been.
Oh no, those guys, yeah. Like, and the thing is, you know what I mean. Like all jokes aside, like it's because the love of the game. You know, I'm sure that drove Taladril to want to make this.
Dude, Taladril's been talking about this database for years.
So long, yeah. This has been like one of those like love-hate kind of things. Just like, oh my god, just get it out.
So the best weapon is BRE? What?
BRE slaps.
Dude, BRE slaps, dude.
but
For arms, you have arms up.
Oh.
Two-handers, yeah. Yeah, a lot of people like but in all reality, like joking about what we were saying, but like for real, guys, like Taladril, and I'm sure Al and everyone else who helped make you this, but this was your dream, right, Taladril? And I think just showing like how much you put into this and like how much time and effort was into this, but like in all reality, man, I'm sure this like helps you, and like it's something that I remember when we were talking about it like way back, like this is something that you wanted to see for so long because you couldn't find something like it, and it was so necessary for me, and I think for a lot of people out there who just wanted to go up, look something, weigh the odds. And you have all these cookie cutter builds that everyone says, oh, you got to use this, you got to have this. But we all know that Classic is not vanilla, right? There's so many differences. A lot of people heal or tank like they did back in vanilla, and they're not doing a good job because it's a completely different game nowadays of how fast everything is, how different everything is. And I think, the fact that we have this now just really, really, for me, it just opens my eyes to different possibilities. And I think that what is really viable and good for, what I need in my guild.
Absolutely.
Yeah. That's what the driver was. Is it was something that it was what I wanted for myself,
Mm-hmm.
It was like I used it often. I just realized too that to save item space, I think we only have the rarity set as a default down to uncommon, so that's why stuff isn't showing up for level 1, because the whites and grays aren't part of the basic list for showing you things.
Oh wait, so you could show the whites and grays, or
they exist, but I think we don't have them showing, mostly just because this is mostly based around for level 60. But I have the data, but yeah, I think it's not so much for, so your level 5 twink is probably not going to be able to see.
Dude, damn it, Kargoz, why'd you have to?
Had to break it.
Yeah.
Dude, I used to ask Taladril these questions like a year ago. Like, what are all the items specifically? I asked him, like, what are all the items tied to fishing? And he fucking sent me a database of all the fishing-related items. Quest rewards.
Dude, people use the consumable one all the time. That's the one that most people use. You guys, the consumable list you guys all look at? Everyone watching right now, you probably didn't even realize this dude made that. That was,
Yep.
I don't think there's another one.
That started out where I did it for my guild, and it was like, because everybody had their own rules for stuff, and I'm like, I can't remember what all the consumables are, not in one spot. So I'm like, I'll just make a list. So I just asked everybody what they used, and then I started looking at other stuff, and
I see that list everywhere.
Hell of a product, man. Great job, dude. Big height.
Absolutely amazing, yeah.
Yeah, thanks.
Well, guys, let's start wrapping up. Like, let's just talk about any last lingering thoughts that are on our minds. If you guys have any questions for us now, too, can I also just say, this is, man, to see the support in the chat coming back, you don't know what to expect after you go cold turkey for a month, haven't been streaming. People might be, kind of maybe upset, or you never know. And people are just so supportive and nice in the chat, and everything really is, keeps
that
the
is awesome,
motivation
man. Yeah,
going.
you guys make me want to stream again.
It's quite a community.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lost
what,
thoughts
Kargoz?
are, by the way, we need AQ fast.
Oh no, we
My
don't. We
opinion.
did a little bit
No,
longer.
don't rush it.
Yes.
Don't rush it.
We need it.
What was that?
Fast.
Sorry? My bad.
Faster you get AQ, the faster Classic's done.
I know.
Yeah, sure, but
Well,
what
well,
are we doing now? I mean, we are exalted in CG, BW all these old,
you only have
MC doesn't matter
Elementium
anymore.
band. What's your rush? You should wait.
Yeah,
until-
right. You still need a lot of upgrades, dude. What the hell?
I still need
Oh.
Elementium Band.
Give me a date,
We
chat.
do.
I want to.
With,
I want a
Mission
date.
Dare.
When does AQ come out? What's an actual date you guys want? Commit something.
A date?
An actual date and time.
I expect August, but we'll see.
Middle of
I
July.
want,
July 27th.
3 p.m.
yeah,
Pacific
Oh, what
Standard
day
Time.
is that? It's probably like a Sunday. Hold on, July.
I want June, and I'm gonna say beginning of July.
I think late July, early August.
For AQ.
July 21st,
What day is that?
Tuesday.
People were
Nah,
saying
come
that
on,
Oh, there you go.
was,
That's. Well, I'll do the next week now. I'll say July 28th.
22nd.
Nax by Christmas or what?
Next by Christmas.
Yep.
It's all about when Shadowlands is going to be dropping, right? I mean,
Yeah, that's gonna be the big one.
We kill and
Yeah.
Kel'Thuzad on Christmas Eve.
Hell yeah. That's Christmas present.
that would be awesome. Yeah.
Be great.
He's going down. He's going down to Chinatown.
Anyways, guys, it's been a great pleasure, and I'll put the link one more time for you in here. If you guys want to check out that tool we were showcasing, and
Kargoz, you got anything for the fans that they can expect? Are you going Hunter? I mean, I know we alluded to it earlier and we were talking about it. You're feeling woes about not rolling a Hunter in the past. You got anything?
yeah, I'll level Hunter. I'll definitely level Hunter.
Really?
Maybe just
The
chill. Not
Hunter leveling cheat. That's right.
maybe non-hardcore. So because dude, I love hardcore. It's a great challenge. But I have to say, I kind of suck, dude.
It makes you pull your fucking hair out of your head.
It's like I'm a goldfish. I get distracted with the chat. I look at the chat. I'm talking, and then I just fucking die at 30.
It feels really bad. Like if you like yeah, I know it's.
All right, I have one more thing to put in chat before we start. Right, everyone answer this straw poll. I just put in. Just do it.
Okay,
I'm
hold
gonna-
on. I didn't see. Yeah.
Straw poll from Melderon. Let's see. Where's this?
It should be in chat or YouTube chat. Sorry, maybe you want to copy it to Twitch.
Oh, I got it. Oh my god. Chicago's level on target.
That's easy.
Alright, the people have spoken. That's
I don't
all
think
this-
anyone's gonna say no.
Someone did.
Yeah, it'd be crazy, man.
You could start off hardcore, give it one more chance, and maybe if you did it on Scarum, you just wouldn't play with other players.
In my defense, I honestly believe, as everyone should, you should believe in your own capabilities, or else why even exist? I believe I can level a hardcore character to 60, absolutely, but I would have to do it off stream because I'm just a fucking goldfish, dude. Like I have no shot if I'm streaming it. Like if I'm streaming it the whole time and talking with people, I'm just gonna shit the bed at some point. Like
You do it off screen, like upload all the
RNG,
VODs.
You just got to get a little lucky, Kargoz. One time.
Yo, what about that guy who leveled to 60 killing only boards? You guys see that?
did he actually do it? He killed
He did it.
the belly grub 5,000 times or whatever. That was the only board.
No.
You might have. I didn't go back
That's
and
the
see.
only
Killed
board
all
that gives
different kinds
XP.
of boards.
That's
you
the
know what I
only
mean? He
board
went-
that gives XP within a
Yeah.
certain range, though.
I didn't
Belly
see
grub.
how he did it, but he
Oh.
claimed to have done it, and he has video of it, so I'd have to go look.
Yeah, he uploaded like every VOD of him doing it. So
Wow,
yeah,
that's insane.
that was pretty interesting. But yeah, I think I want to maybe I'll stream tomorrow. You know, I don't know. Kargoz, you gonna do it soon too, or?
I'm down, dude. I'm down. We'll push each other back into the.
Kargoz is coming
Color
back
back,
to
yeah.
Hunter leveling, and we're gonna.
I feel like we motivate each other in a lot of ways. You know what I mean?
I say you just stream the hunter progression from 1 to 60, dude. Forget hardcore. Just do it. Just do it for the love of the hunter. You know.
Yeah, like you did with the Paladin. It was really enjoyable. Do it like that.
Do professions use the new tool?
Yeah.
Tool list on classicwow.live. Oh man.
You guys are too kind. I appreciate you guys. This is the squad right here, guys. This is the squad. You're looking at it right here.
We missed
Hell
you.
yeah.
See it.
We missed you.
Yeah.
It's just, man.
All right, folks.
All right.
That's gonna do it. Any final words, guys?
Keep on
Keep grinding and grinding. Yeah.
Maybe I can actually. I can make use of this. We still are looking for 2 healers in our guild. So if you're interested,
What server?
EU.
here's the link. It's Bloodfang EU Alliance side, and any healer class is welcome. Just be 2 different healers.
Shaman?
You can also find us. No, you can also find us on the fellowship.eu. That's our Discord as well. But I put the other link in chat as well in case it doesn't work.
There it is.
There you go.
The
And,
IRL Paladin has spoken.
what else? There's something else. Yeah, miss you guys. Miss all you guys. So hopefully we'll see you soon. And then we'll definitely be back next week, right, guys? So we'll have another
Duo
one, and
level with
we'll
Defcamp.
catch up on some other stuff that we missed out on. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
All right,
But
guys.
thank you, Taladril,
All right,
so
everyone.
much for coming and showing us this, man.
Thanks
I
for
really
having
love
me.
it. Yeah.
Appreciate it.
That's it, ladies and gentlemen. GMA 48. We done. We'll see you next time on 49.
All right, guys.
Take care.
Peace.